I've been expecting you, and not just me. Here, also bones to my left or right, whatever it may be for you, because today it is going to be another fantastic evening. And why it's fantastic is because ESA is live, baby, and we have some more matches, some Swiss matches. And well, it's me, Puffle Bob. I'll be leading you through the matches as long as I mentioned Bose on my left, be it right. And Bose, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's been some time since I've done a cast, but I'm actually very excited to be back, especially with you, Pufo. So we're going to make a very nice show here for all of our viewers tonight. Well, I'm excited. I believe the players are already almost ready, so we should be actually going into the match pretty quickly. So let's just go through the visuals that we want to go over with you guys, so we can start with this match as soon as possible. So, Pufo, the first thing that we're seeing here are the map bands. Well, let's just go do it quickly. We can see that the very first map that we're going to is going to be Border, picked by CrownZero, after which we're going to Nighthaven Labs, which was then picked by Minions. If it happens that each of these two maps are going to be won by either of the two teams, and we have a 1-1 scoreline, then we need the decider, which is going to be Chalet, the potential third map right there.
Border, a small one, Night Haven, absolutely beloved in Chalet, the New Oregon. What can go wrong with it? And you see at the top, we have CrownZero facing MG Minions, for those of you who are not aware, for the casuals coming in to just have a bit of a fun, a bit of a laugh, and a bit of enjoyment. But in the meanwhile, I mean, we have some also, I believe, some predictions to go through. I mean, what is the staff thinking? What are the percentages? Well, we can take a look at it, and honestly,
Ooh,
this is quite
ooh.
close. Sometimes it was a bit more 27 to 2080, either be it 50-50, just that middle line, 40-60. MG Minions not being favored, but I voted for them. I hope the yellow men, following Drew are going to be winning it out today. What about you, Post? What do you think?
Hey, I mean, you see my vote, CrownZero. It was a really tough one for me here to decide which team to actually vote for, because historically, Minions has been one of the best teams in the scene. But lately, I mean, they've got so many roster changes in general throughout their lifetime, and the consistency isn't as always as good as you're hoping it to be. But yeah, that's why I'm just kindly siding with CrownZero here. But I think there's going to be a very close match. And talking about the match, I believe it's about to start right now. So yeah, there we go. The intro is happening right now. Border is going to be the first map of today, Poopa Bob. And a little fun fact here: this is actually the first time that we will actually see Border being played in ESA Cup Season X.
Oh, and well, what a better way to start us off than with some border, like you said, at aggression. It's a small map, a lot of opportunities for gunfights, and some of you may not see it right now. We didn't really have the time, but I opened up a fortune cookie because I mean it's looking. I'm gonna eat it while Ollie's casting. I'll be completely honest, but it does say that we could potentially be going Bose Max OT, and well, what better way to do it than with Bose? And what better way to start off Oregon than with a Monty ban? No one likes shields. They don't like playing against them. Playing with them at times can be boring. If you know how to utilize the Monty, you are a force to not be reckoned with. And for Border, that is understandable. Switching over to the tank, the second operator to be taken off the board is going to be none other than the Blackbeard. And just as we speak of the devil, that being the shield operators, he as well will be joining the tally.
And so these are the first two operators being banned. Blackbeard on his own home ground. Border, of course, a map where he was first introduced, but in general, these days a very common ban alongside with that Monty. So two very understandable operator bans here, Buffo. Now the big question is, what are the two other operators that we may expect here in this case? We can see Mira coming out as a second banned operator, which is also quite understandable. On Border, we don't see her all the time, but she can be quite strong as well whenever she comes out. So that's why Minus has decided to ban her. And I'm just waiting for the final ban coming from the side of CrownZero. What will it be?
Hmm. All right. Mira seems quite reasonable. Valkyrie. Hmm. Guys, I was going to eat my cookie. I do apologize. All right. Yeah, Valkyrie's where it's at. Valkyrie, the lineups on Border, it gets brutal. You don't really want to force a pick with IQ because there are a lot of other things to prioritize, especially when it comes down to gadgets, right? You want to focus them towards you winning a gunfight, you getting those extra lines of sight, you actually helping out your team. And we can already see that MG minions are picking out the Blitz, the Twitch, the Finka Twitch to deny any Fenrir's, be it any utility that's going to be making your gunfight and entry just that much harder. Ashe and Ace, it's the standard. Ashe is soft breach, Ace is hard breach. It's the counter yin and yang that you always need to see, especially in competitive, while taking a look at the lineup of defense,
Defenders,
because I mean the
protect your
attack right
bombs
now,
from
they
being
can still
defused
six
by
pick and
attackers.
adapt to what CrownZero are going to be putting down, which is going to be the Sentry, the Goyo, Mute, Melusi, and Castle. And well, I can't really comment nothing about it right now. It's the standard, it's what Border offers, and it's nothing wrong with what these players are picking.
Oh, indeed. For the very first bomb site here, we're going to the ground floor bomb site. Always a very interesting one to see being played here. You can see CrownZero are immediately expanding here towards the top floor. A crucial point for this map, for this bomb site to either defend or attack it. Attackers won't have it in control, so they can pressure the bomb site below. But at the same time, defense can easily use it to defend their own bomb site from above and drop down whenever things are getting too hot. It's very understandable that they put so much focus here on this top floor. And the question is, of course, how minions is going to attack this bomb site.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
That's a good question. I mean, here, MG Minions, they have switched it a lot around. I am loving the Deimos edition, especially because of how much top floor really is on this map and Border has to offer. But in the meanwhile, the Jackal as well, like I said, you want to hunt down players. Anyone that's roaming may be quite quickly taken out, and that's what it starts getting a bit more worrisome because CrownZero's entire build, although they may be extending, I don't think here it's going to be too heavy of a run. I think it's going to be more a distract, save some time, and then back off. They are placing utility, which means they could be, locking themselves up, which, again, the Jackal and Deimos both work off of the fact that they hunt people down. You don't need to hunt people down. You know they're going to be there. It's just kind of getting in and taking them out that's going to be the issue.
Yeah, just a bit of comfort, just a bit of knowing where your enemies are is definitely going to help you and give you the comfort and the courage to push those defensive players who are like located here on the top floor. They are now finding the first ones here all the way back in office. I believe 2 or 3 defenders playing here, which is quite a bit of a presence here. But Scripps is the first player to find one of the first attackers. That's Ram already losing a life. A bit of a crucial operator here to create all the verticality to make it very difficult to play on side. But luckily, Nordy, Alex, has also brought the sledge boards, which can also accomplish their goal.
Oh, some shots coming out. That's going to be the SMG-11 being taken out the second we mention it. An opening here for MG Minions, bringing it down to CrownZero for both these teams. 0-0. It's equalized now, and CrownZero have wasted a ferocious amount of time. They've left him with 130, which means verticality is only going to get assumed now. We already see the top breaches coming out. The Ram, unfortunately, taken out, and the first pick for MG Minions, but thankfully we do have the backup. The Sledge coming in, which is always beautiful to see that he also gets a bit of recognition nowadays due to, his previous nerves. But he gets brought out. We still have the Deimos and Jackal, which are going to be fantastic if you open up a kill of yourself in a refrag game, especially when you have the advantage in men. MG Minions, you can work off of these 2 operators, and right now you can start hunting them down. This is where they come in late, just a bit more useful, come in for those floor banks. Melusi 1 shot away from death. Sentry coming up, but it's going to be the opening here for the UMP-45 as it reclaims it for 2 as well. CrownZero, fantastic start, but now they still have 2 to deal with, which at this position with what they're given is not going to be too difficult of a task.
Especially with only 35 seconds remaining in a 2 versus 4 situation. Team Minions is definitely in a tricky situation. They need to make the move right now to find those final defenders to get in the bomb, and actually managing to. Also, Jekyll getting the Ash getting killed onto Loki, while the Jekyll is going for the plant. The second kill for Interlude and onto Future, leaving us with a 2 versus 2 post-plant situation where the diffuser now has been successfully planted and the defenders have turned into attackers. They need to retake their own bomb site, find the diffuser, which is going to be a very huge challenge. Jackie with a kill there onto Scripps, flicks the kill onto Jake. And this leads in a 1 versus 1. Ash very smartly rotated to the west top floor where she can watch the diffuser from a very nice angle. But the shotgun, the secondary shotgun, allows the defender to create a nice little line of sight towards the diffuser to long arm it. But in the end, Ash reads into it, drops down the hatch, stops the diffuse, and with just 40 seconds remaining, the defender needs to go for the diffuse. And so with the final kill secures the first round here for the offensive side of Team Minions.
Interlude. The fact that he, in the end, actually managed to escape it out is such a close situation here for MG Minions. They won it out, and that's what matters, right? But in the meanwhile, the path to it, CrownZero put up a fantastic fight and played off of the punish. That is fantastic to see. MG Minions, in the meanwhile, they made some blunders. As much as I love to call the fact that they ended up winning the round, yes, it's an opener for the attack, and hopefully they keep it up going into this first half with a 4-2 split. That's fantastic for them. But CrownZero kept on swinging time after time after time, and Interlude, like you see in the replays, he was taking heads. The Hunter himself, the Ash for a reason, and the fragmentation being at an all-time high, MG Minions were just dropping players, hoping to go for these 1v1s. Rather, CrownZero were doing that. MG Minions were doing completely fine up until that actually happened, and well, that's the first round gone. Just as quickly that the defense are going to be finding a bit of discomfort in it. Switching the lineup as well, I do like the pull, especially going for that bit more C4 and blow-up meta, and I'm already seeing one from Dipsy and Flex.
Yeah, just digging quick bit of digging here, and as you can see, the two teams have actually played this season before. It were the qualifiers, so it wasn't the main competition, and therefore not everyone might actually remember these two teams playing against each other. But they did back in qualifier 2, where they played on Nighthaven Labs. Of course, those qualifiers were BO1 matches, where these two teams played on Nighthaven Labs, where Minions managed to win with a 7-3 score. Pufo, I don't know if you remember, but the second map of today is going to be Nighthaven.
It will be. I can't wait. Nighthaven is such a good map. It's fantastic. I think it's one of the newer additions that has really nicely grown onto the not only competitive but the casual scene as well. And nothing wrong with it. That's what we love to see. What we don't love to see MG Minions, I assume, is going to be the fact that your Ashe is already down to a quarter or a third of HP, extra shots being delivered. You try to take out utility, of course. You do want to break down these castles. Nice peaks coming out from CrownZero, but again, the fire is returned. You don't need to be playing so aggressive. Hold your ground, waste time, and make sure that you have some sort of opening like you did earlier, because if you don't, MG Minions are just going to abuse that fact and keep on winning rounds.
Yeah, Nico also suffering quite a bit of damage there. So on the HP line, both teams a bit of a similar situation here. But the attackers, they are, of course, the ones who need to make a move here. The first minute almost passing by. Attackers have established a bit of a ground hold here in the on the armory side of the map. Also entering here from customs. From office. I mean. And from here, they are starting to get the first bit of control. They're just waiting to find those defenders, trying to get the first bit of control from where they can put pressure on the bomb site again. They know how to attack it. They have shown in the previous rounds. They just need to do the same or even better.
I'm coming out as well. Loving to see the Blitz being aggressive as the role insinuates. Now, surprising pick from the Melusi, but that's where it's slowly going to be ending. Not hitting those shots. Spen comes out for a second follow-up. MG Minions now looking golden yet again, but the C4 from below here could be deadly, although I believe it was pre-placed. Going for shots and still managing to get out with it. That's some value here. CrownZero again looking for that backup, and history's repeating itself. That's a double delivered. Equalization through, and now it's 3-3. HP not looking too good for Interlude and North, eh? 1 minute here. The defenders are looking to retake what they lost in verticality, and it's going to be a huge play because someone's going to be playing off of that hatch. Not just one, but two, but they're too late to it. Post-plant could be initiated in a second, and yeah, here, sadly, Future won't be there in time to stop it. Blitz shots not coming through, and MG Minions have locked you outside of sight, and the post-plant too, but Fleek still with one, finds the second in this round, and only two more remain. Double down on that score, and you're going to be having yourself the first round, but playing around the Blitz, it's extra protection, one from behind, but Interlude wins it. Dipsy again, a 1v1 situation, and the Ashe is just running. Of course, reload. That's magazine back in. The Fuser still there. Dipsy swings. CrownZero managing to just get by it. Again, going off of the fact that they go for a retake. Top floor, not much of a flank hold for MG Minions. And now we have a 1-1.
Yeah, in a way, very similar rounds to how the members of Minions, the attackers, managed to get some perfect control over the side, went for the plan, but this time it ended very differently. Defenders perfectly doing a good job on retaking their own bomb site, fracking each of the attacking operators, and still have enough time there to go for that defuse. Beautifully done here from CrownZero. I almost thought it was going the complete wrong way, as at some point there were still 3 defensive players alive, and not a single one of them had side control. But luckily, they managed to work things back around and secure at least a round here on the board. A 1-1 score.
1-1 score. Really solid here from MG Minions in the first round, but CrownZero just followed it up. And I'm loving the defense, going upstairs, trying to retake, playing aggressive. And again, both these teams punish each other's aspects. Their cons, right? They take the pros of their team, they bring it over to the cons of the enemy, and they just stockpile over them. As for MG Minions, they were not watching their flanks a lot in the previous round either. There is bring a gridlock, a nomad if you have to, a drone if one of your players is dead, at least something that just does not allow 2 or 3 of your players, and verticality that you worked off of. You put time and effort into that verticality, and you're just giving it back to CrownZero so they can play off of Ashe. It's dangerous territory. MG Minions, you play off of that, and you have yourself a very promising, not only first, but even second half. As of current, though, CrownZero, it's only a beginning, right? I saw the Legion shotgun. It is a bit of a sin, but they won the round, and again, as long as MG Minions keep on making these mistakes, it's going to be a difficult time for them.
Yeah, the Legion shotgun weapon we have seen in action all too well yesterday for the ones who might remember. But yeah, especially if the Legion is placed in a smart, close range situation, he can do extreme damage onto his opponents. So it's a very understandable pick. Yeah, that's not how the Brava drone works, unfortunately. There, you need to stay in range to actually capture the camera and don't drive away too soon. Very unfortunate to lose a charge there. But also a nice lesson here for Interlude. And wow, that's a nice range on that shotgun into the drone.
Good shot. Good shot. Loving some shotgun on defense. It is still round 3 again. We are really leaning in towards the end of the first quarter. Regulation, of course, that is. Possibly even overtime. Like I said, the fortune cookie most of the time does not lie. Now a C4 there. Bit of a guess. Not playing it right. Blitz right behind. Are we going for the jump in? No, just more... We're trying to intimidate the enemies, push them back into corners, people peeking, but they still have to be wary of when this Blitz is going to decide to jump in, and that's when we see it. Legion a bit of damage, the Finka boost coming in nicely, the flash as well, and just by the skin of his teeth, with a couple bits of HP, finds the opening onto Dipsy. And that's a good start here for MG Minions, as it does not continue as well. And again, CrownZero always going off of these 1v1s, but they're confident in taking them.
Yeah, 4 versus 4. Naughty currently being injured on the floor, potentially to be revived. But for now, he's injured, and the player needs to head over to him to actually revive him and bring him back into the fight. So, yeah, a bit of a challenge here for the side of Minions. They are now establishing some control here over the top floor, over the CCTV area, from where they can put more pressure onto the bomb site itself. So Naughty finally getting revived and back into the game. A nice little headshot here from Jackie there onto Scripps, which works back the man favor there in the favor of MG Minions with the 4 versus 3. And with just 60 seconds remaining, and they do have plenty of time to still do some destruction onto the bomb site, destroy some bits of utility, and get some control. But Flix with the shotgun finds Naughty. That's the Blitz taken care of. Very nice kill there from Flix, as the Blitz would, of course, be very annoying, especially towards the end of the round. Will this be continue with a 3 versus 3 Buffon?
We do. We've seen it so many times, but who's going to be striping this time? Oh, these main stairs metal has been such a bearer of bad news here for MG Minions, as they've been losing gunfights constantly. Attempted wallbangs even a millimeter away from the head, but sadly, A for effort, no cigar on it. 20 seconds remain, you peek out, you don't win them. The Izami gets to back off, and it's wasting time. You're going to be pushed into critical efforts. And right now, 3 players just nicely sitting by, holding crossfires. Shotgun even from below to deny any extra certification. There's one for Demers. It's returned, but the plant is going down. Any verticality, you hear him above. Shoot, yes, he does! And that's going to be Fleek with another. Just the final coup de grace. Was waiting a bit, maybe needed an extra sound cue, but he got the passion, and that's the second round and lead going to CrownZero.
Yeah, things starting off pretty well for Minions there, especially with the Blitz. Like, he was waiting for an entry into CCTV. There was a player left on the corner, the other one on the hatch towards the ground floor. And he would just have to wait for the mute to move out of the position, as he couldn't make his move. But as the mute moved out of the position, was pushed out of the position, he finally found a way to enter, and he made a nice entry. But right after that, CrownZero fighting back, regaining the lead. And in the end, beautiful play, especially from the Legion as well at the end, reading perfectly into the planting spot from Minions and shutting it down from below. Very well played.
Fantastic to see. CrownZero, again, picking up the lead, as the name indicates, dethroning MG Minions. Had a bit of a lead, lost it quickly. Here on this map, especially for side of console, I'm not too sure how you really want to go into this first half, but MG Minions, you need to start racking up as many rounds as you possibly can. CrownZero are definitely going to be doing the same, and on the defense. They go over towards that attack, and this map is definitely something that I would call attack favorite, mostly because of the size, mostly because of the fact that, again, aggression at times equals gunfights, and at times, better guns win them out. For now, MG Minions, I'm liking the gridlock pick away from the Blitz, which definitely has worked out at times. For now, just focus on getting these players, pushing them out, and making sure that they don't come on your back and nicely stab you.
Yeah, this is the first time the map is being played this season. We indeed do not really have any information on this map, but we do have information from the qualifiers, which of course isn't too long ago. And all both of these two teams have participated in those. It's a 47 offensive round favor versus a 52.3 defensive round favor. That's the map of water.
Okay. Lee. Minions. Don't work. We see that CrownZero are really sticking about this metal side, and we see that Spen isn't liking it too much. The escape's taken out quickly. Now, fantastic advancement towards the Falcon side. I mean, CrownZero, they definitely do. Again, the more ground you lose, the harder it's going to be playing as a defender, because you can't really find that hoop and switch from one side to another, and MG minions are already trying to take care of it. Not much of a roaming presence, but just as I speak of it, that's going to be the opening here for CrownZero. One picked up, out to a 3 on the kill. Now a bit of a drop from the Warden. Warning shots for extra. Spen comes out swinging, and that's going to be the FAMAS claiming another soul. And out to 4 to 3, MG minions have most of the time had the openings, and of course gained some sort of advantage, but most of the time the trouble has been keeping it up.
Strong start from minions, as they have now gained a nice little man advantage and have gained control over the top floor, which is one of their targets. As from there they can again put the pressure on the bomb side. Jackie with a kill there onto Future, who is completely distracted with the people above him. And with the 4 versus 2, things are only going to get harder for CrownZero. There's 4 attackers trying to locate them. However, Dipsy does help out a little bit for the team, as he finds Darren's, and now he turns things into 3 versus 2. But still with the man advantage for the defensive side, and Span getting kill onto Dipsy. It's all coming down to Loki, who does find the kill there onto Span. 2 versus 1, just over a minute remaining. Attackers could technically go for the play, but no, as Loki finds Alex as well. He turns things into a 1 versus 1 situation, which is going to make things very interesting. Yes, he's playing as the Jekyll. He has a perfect opportunity here to find information, but the Goyo canister and I believe a Capcan trap or some sort of trap it was. It's so of course the Goyo canister on the window. Jackie loses a load of HP. Is in a very difficult position for him to be in right now. Gets tracked. Finds the truck there onto Loki, knows his position right now, but the diffuser has been lost in armor, so he needs to go for the kill, he needs to go for the diffuser. But in the end, it's Loki winning the gunfight here, and therefore securing the round here for CrownZero. A very nice round.
You can pre-fire as much as you want, but in the end, the defense does have to have their bout yet again. CrownZero already making sure that it's going to be a draw in the first half, if nothing else, while MG Minions struggling a bit. Again, they keep getting this advantage, the opening, but it's just no consistency to follow up with it, and that's what's been finding the most trouble with him. Again, early game good. We already see it's a 4v2 here in the replay, but all of a sudden then it starts dropping, right? CrownZero here, find 1. That's Loki. 2nd, 3rd, and drops down just until MG Minions are again forced down to a 1v1 that they cannot win. Fantastic shots from the Malusi. The diffuser is dropped. You're playing top. Pre-fires are coming out. You're given all sorts of advantages, pros and cons. And in the end, CrownZero, again, they're just punish and play, and they're doing things correctly. If they can't just raw fight them off and just go in with team fights 5-5s, they try to play around them. They go for these nooks and crannies that MG Minions haven't explored yet. And that's where their catalyst lies. As of CrownZero, they're fantastic. They get 2 more rounds. It's 5-1, right? It's going to be a quick first map. But I think MG Minions are slowly going to get warmed up.
Yeah, CrownZero definitely having a good start here on their own map pick. The last time these 2 teams played on this map was back in August last year. So actually quite some time ago, where these 2 teams played in ESA Cup Season 9, the qualifiers as well. These teams really like to play against each other in qualifiers, but not in the actual main competition. But there was a Minions win with a 7-5 score, so pretty close. But given that CrownZero is already starting so well with this nice advantage, I believe this map is going to be a whole lot closer.
Could be. It could be. MG Minions definitely have the time to pick it up. I'm really just worried about this. Have a second half of the round that they start falling off. They begin rolling the dice a bit more, go for these really lucky shots. And CrownZero, I mean, again, they're playing logically. They know what situation they're put in, and while they put themselves into it in the beginning by letting themselves playing greedy at times, peeking out when peeking isn't needed, well, these teams, they just take advantage of each other's mistakes, and it's only up to the question of who does more of it by the end of the round. As of current, CrownZero is definitely the king of it.
Yeah, but this same bomb set that we have already seen 2 times before being played for another time. We are just waiting for MG Minions to go for that 3rd attack. But it starts off the round very nicely. It's the Nomad getting taken care of. An operator, very annoying for the defenders, especially with her utility that she can place down. No longer be able to be placed down right now. Jackie able to kill that onto Flick, potentially looking for a second. Yeah, definitely looking for a second. Finding Dipsy as well. So nice little comeback here from side of Minions. Make it a 3rd as he finds Loki. And right now, Minions looking very, very good for this round. Make it a 4 potential. Yes, why not? Quad kill. Keep it rolling. Keep it going. Now there's just one more player to be looking for, and that's Scripps. He's playing downstairs, I believe. Yes, he's playing downstairs all the way back here. Still quite far away from sight. Potentially, Jackie looking for that ace. It would be a beautiful thing to see. Potentially the first ace of the season. I'm not entirely sure. It might just be, but for now, with this 4 versus 1, this is Minions finding themselves in a very good position.
Oh, CrownZero. This is a tough one. We've seen the 1v3 earlier. Can you force it again? Very unlikely. Although chances They're there, right? But they're very slim, and although some shots spent trying to take his chances at life, it's the Blitz that's going to be the real issue. Some impacts there, but it's the backup of the entire team. Interload right behind. The R4C putting some extra shots in, and MG Minions. It has been a while since we've seen it, but there is a round going for them. Hopefully looking to 3-3 it in this first half. It is the last round in it, and this, this is what I'm talking about. Although the second half of the round definitely wasn't anything special because MG Minions didn't even give CrownZero a chance to make it anything. MG Minions, they went for it. They made sure that within the first 2 minutes, minute and a half, they already claimed 4 or 5 people under their belts. And with CrownZero, there's no fighting chance at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking to turn this into a 3-3 scoreline. Although if it turns out into 2-4, it's still definitely workable for themselves as they then would go to the defense, which, well, statistically should slightly benefit them given the stats from the qualifiers that we can see. But for now, it was a very nice comeback. Not a second too late for Minions. It just closed the gap between those 2 rounds a little bit more. Going back to Armory, a bomb site that we have already seen one time before. I believe it was a CrownZero win. Yeah, that was a CrownZero win that we have seen right there. So Minions will get a second chance here to attack it for a second time. Hopefully do a bit better. They can learn from the mistakes. They know the setup from CrownZero. They had a pretty decent entry the previous time around, but then just CrownZero just fought back, won some gunfights, and reclaimed the lead in terms of man count. So yeah, for both especially for Minions here, a good thing to learn from.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Looking at the lineups, they have switched a bit. Earlier, MG Minions went for shields, or they went for the demos alone. Now they're mixing it up a bit for the final time they are possibly on the tank. Depends on how it goes, if it goes into overtime. As of current, CrownZero, though, still sticking to these Ami, Malusi, and Legion powerhouses of the defense as of current, and definitely some sort of advantage you want to take care of as much as you can, right? Because when you're going to be switching over to that attack, CrownZero, you won't have the availability to do so. Quick retreat here. Demo still coming from below. An attempted fight back again. And even a drop down. This is where we're playing a bit unrelenting. CrownZero backed off. The Blitz is going to be pushing main door. And any second, you're going to be found in the grave. Just barely getting away. A couple of HP. One bullet could have done it. But you keep the player for now. And a dock as well will be useful.
Yeah, Fleeks, the Legion shotgun, one of the key players for the previous time that's CrownZero played on this specific bomb site. He's definitely being hunted. Minions know how crucial he is, how strong he can be, and they just want him out of the game. Killing the Legion might as well give Minions the upper hand and a good chance to win this round, but the Legion is not giving up. He's not giving up easily. He's not giving up on the fight. He's giving his absolute maximum, even doing damage here to the attacking side and also wasting a lot of time. Loki, meanwhile, with the kill there onto Dernis, Interlude with the kill onto Future, and Alex with the kill there onto Dipsy. Right now it's a 4 versus 3. Flix gets the kill there onto Span. The Blitz loses his life as well to the hands of Scripps and gets a second there onto Jackie, and suddenly Interlude playing as the Ash in the 1 versus 3 is the one left standing for the side of Minions.
How much rounds is it going to take for both these teams to have an equal gunfight? Well, Interlude's evening it down. 1 on one side, 2 on the other. CrownZero lost a player, a second one as well, and it's going to be dangerous territory. Interlude just looking for 1v1s, one's behind him, but just not directly. Some extra shots to let him know he's there. This is going to be the opportunity. This is a crossfire. No, CrownZero aren't holding it. But Interlude, he can just make his way into sight for Loki to take his head off. And that's going to be 1 extra for CrownZero. The defense, of course, taking the 4-2 fashion. For second, Interlude was looking like he was on a bit of a rush, but no need to go anywhere just yet. MG Minions, they have gotten 2 rounds, and now they're going towards the defense.
Yeah, good read for Minions to go so heavily for that Legion, but unfortunately for them, it didn't really work out that well. CrownZero also doing an excellent job of wasting loads of time, keeping Minions busy, and in the end fighting back again to work things in their favor once more. A 2-4 score rolls up happening. Minions now on the defense, where CrownZero is now starting with a nice little advantage on their offense. Let's see what Minions is going for that very first round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Oh. It's clear that they're going to be going upstairs. A bit of a switch from how CrownZero did it. They really favored a bit more bathroom and tried to play around stall on the porcelain throne. In the end, though, MG Minions, they play differently. We've seen that they both have differences, and that's what makes these teams and the matchup quite great. Although, as of current, it is only map 1. Map 2 and 3 are definitely going to be some lifelines, depending if you win or lose this match. And well, coming up until right now, CrownZero 4-2. They get 2 more rounds right now, and they're already at match point. That's the advantage when you get playing towards that defensive half and trying to play off of the fact that this is your building. You build it yourself.
5
You make
seconds
whatever
left
advantage,
before
whatever corner, try extend, and of course, shut down the attackers before they get to you. Taking a look at the lineups, we are seeing similar characters, although a very new addition and an interesting one from CrownZero here, gonna be that Brava.
Yeah, Bravo can definitely bring some things to the board here. We did see here before from the side of Minions as well, where we of course saw some mistakes as well with that drone, if you might recall. But Bravo is definitely a very interesting operator. In this case, just not too much for the Bravo to gain, just mostly some pre-placed for like the default cameras, mute jammers, and those Melusi Banshees, which can be extremely annoying, also for the defenders. So that's definitely something that the Brava might be looking for, but also just finding those mute jammers and just basically shutting them off, or at least, yeah, not having to deal with it anymore is still a huge win.
It's ready here, Fleek. Done a bit of a hunt. No prey stepping into his trap just yet. CrownZero looking to open it up. Earlier was always MG Minions on the attack, as you should. This time around, CrownZero looking to take over that role. And yes, of course, as you showed, the Deimos tracking down these Ami, going to be forcing you all the way back to site, and someone's going to have to take over that position, but you need to keep on moving because there's someone after you. You have entered the Lion's Den, and of course, until you leave, that Deimos is going to be on your track.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, still 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. Not a single player has been dealt any bit of damage whatsoever. So this round is going to be very close towards the second half, as we're now having half of the rounds remaining. Attack is still looking to find a proper way into the building. We can see Buck being downstairs, hunting down those players from below, but not finding anyone either at the moment. Still, Deimos again going for another approach here onto that Melusi. Really wants to find her, really wants to deal with Alex, but just not finding the right angle. Darius and Interlude with 1 kill each, finding Loki and Gypsy. That's the Buck and the IQ taken care of. And suddenly Minions finds himself in a very good position with a 5 versus 3 man count when the Future fighting back by taking care of Interlude, brings to the 4 versus 3.
Future doesn't look at the present, he looks at the future, as the name indicates, and already thinking ahead of time. He sees one reinforcing a huge mistake from Endorthe, and that's going to be leaving you in a 3-3. Ground equalize, shut down one from behind. Spen comes in, playing aggressive MG Minions with an aggressive up front. A second peek with the Victor. Oh, it's tempting him. He wants to do it, and he does, but that's what ends up being your demise. Future shuts you down. That's another for his tally. A 2v2. CrownZero have 30 seconds to work off of, but so much ground, so much utility, and at the same time, one more death mark remaining. Gonna be a question if you want to use it. You do on the Sazami. Onto your right, you don't know about it, and that's a shutdown for 1. A second from Juke, and the defenders win at MG Minions on retaliation, as they're now only 1 round behind the score that CrownZero have to offer.
Yeah, 3-4 scoreline. A beautiful way to start off the defense here for a set of Minions, getting those rounds on the board and getting closer to CrownZero. Just 1 more round and we will have that 4-4 scoreline, and then the rounds will be equalized once more. Or actually for the first time, I believe, actually. No, actually, since the 1-1 scoreline, we haven't seen any equal score anymore. But this is at least a good start for them here on that defense. Of course, after winning a defensive round, they must go to another, and this is where they go into Ventilation and Workshop, opting for a slightly different approach than how CrownZero went, as they went for tellers and bathrooms first. But in this case, you need to play all of them at least at some point if you're doing well. So why not go here first?
Honestly, it's interesting. A lot of people really do love playing Bathroom because, again, it allows that extension upstairs, and upstairs you can play quite well. Okay, again, keep in mind this map is quite small, and the attack don't need much of an issue going through it, but it's the fact that when you're playing Deimos, per se, right, you go for the verticality. You go from below or above to try and shoot them down. There's not an option like that in Bathroom, because if you go above, you're basically going to be stepping into enemy territory. Same stands if you try and go below where sight is. In the meanwhile, though, CrownZero here, you need to keep the advantage. Earlier was MG Minions who were having a bit of trouble keeping up that tempo and trying to have the rhythm going. This time around, when it comes to the round count, you want to be on that lead, because MG Minions, we can take a look at them. 3 shotgun Bosch-G, that's going to be deadly. Also, the utility focusing not only towards a lot of versatility. It's sometimes you have Smoke and Goyo, as per se, on bank bottom floor to deny the plant and have it be as stalled out and long as possible. Here, it's a mix. We have all sorts of operators that work well in combination.
Here, especially interlude with the boss G shotgun, just waiting for any attacker to move into his crosshair. Unfortunately, not getting the opportunity, at least not yet. This way, at least the attackers are able to safely make it towards the building and hopefully get a safe entry. Very rich defenders playing up top. Again, this is one of those bomb sites where the top floor can be very valuable for either of the two teams. Defenders can use it to defend the bomb site, while the attackers can use it to attack it. But things are starting off with Interlude getting their first kill there onto Phoenix and Scripts with the kill there onto Interlude. So that's a bit of a trade really there. With the refragging happening. But with a 4 versus 4 man count, there's another good fight happening right here. Script versus Span finds the Goyo, takes care of him. A 3 versus 4. Another one coming into the cross. The Mozzie doesn't actually seem to know about the position of the IQ, but luckily makes it out alive. And yeah, this is how we continue.
3 to 4 MG minions. Normally it's CrownZero who are playing against a multi-toad of players. As of current though, MG minions on the receiving end, and CrownZero, they have 4 to offer. But hopefully the Pulse, Mozzie, and Mute combination are going to be enough to handle it down. Still strong guns. IQ trying to play off of information. You cannot see anyone through walls, and just trying to go off of maybe C4s. The Pulse microwave to be scanned through walls, but it's still ventilation. Side itself has not been defended. And right now, the defense is still holding quite strong. MG minions, although they have given off a lot of time to CrownZero to work with, you still keep some of it. Your site is nicely secured, but quite open, and that's where my wonders and at the same time my worries start kicking in, as they should for CrownZero too.
And I'm obviously still right there in the corner, going for a peek onto the player. Dern's gonna go for Dipsy, even though the IQ was right above, not being able to help out the teammate. Looking over the kill there onto Dernis, brings us to a 2 versus 3. Attackers now having the moment to go for the defuse. The attackers see if the defenders seem to be aware. Alex Naughty knows the player is right around the corner with the shotgun. He just can't really get the right shot. Does do a bit of damage, but doesn't actually get the kill, but does disrupt the plant. Meanwhile, Jackie with a kill there onto Future leaves us in a 1 versus 2 situation. Another opportunity here for Loki to go on the defuse, where the Pulse now needs to find out where the player is playing. He knows one is right above him. He's watching the hatch. He cannot allow the Pulse to enter the bomb site, but in the end, Pulse finds his way in, knows the player is right behind his obstacle, finds the kill there onto Loki, brings us to a 1 versus 1 post-play situation where he has 30 seconds to make his way towards the diffuser, but of course the IQ is playing. He can exactly see when the diffuser is happening from above, knows when to drop, has a perfect clean line of sight, but the Pulse is thinking it. No, he's dropping off at the right moment at the very end, but Crips getting the final kill just in the right moment, and therefore securing the round here for the offensive side of CrownZero.
It is going to be MG minions. I just don't, just so no one gets confused, but MG minions here will also wait. Was it? No, it was CrownZero. My brain is tweaking. Oh God. Oh, what has Siege done to us? So much has happened in the past few days. We had Malta Cyber Series, we have Siegex, and now we have ESA. And all of that being combined, you know, it messes with one, but what messes with another is the fact that MG minions are now again 2 below. It's a bit of a disadvantage, of course, to work with, and CrownZero have had some time to pick up the pace. I am loving how the attack is. They go up, they take everything quickly. Right now with the timer from MG minions, it should be called out nicely. Again, you lose 2 rounds in a row, especially in the second half where the blueprint is already made and you're trying to construct down this building and have these rounds go in your favor as much as you want to. You can't allow the enemies to go off of on an adrenaline surge of round back to back to back and get smacked around in the process. No, you need to shut it down, get back, all this consistency for the team, and nicely recollect. Now, as of current, we are going to be seeing that CrownZero are going to be working off of Ramgrim, but that doesn't matter. MG Minions Ventilation Workshop, yet again, a second chance to have it go. Scopos and Warden on is going to be an interesting pick. Scopos as well, really strong on some maps, but I don't have too much experience with this certain operator on border, so I'm interested to see how it's going to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do not either, but yeah, like that makes me all the more curious to see Scopos in action. Operator that we just don't generally see that often. Maybe just because she still kind of needs to find her way into the game, but at the same time, also she has been out for some time, and it's just maybe not the best operator in general. However, she can be quite strong if she places her other drone in a smart and strong situation and strong position. She can easily relocate herself from in a very short amount of time, and also bring some very nice surprises. Right now, minions here back on that bottom floor bomb site, the one they just lost. Just going to try to do a little bit better. Not opting to go for tellers and buffrooms. The bomb site they seemingly do not really like to play then, or at least they seem to prefer this bomb site over that one, as it was still open, which is totally fine. Let's just see if they can actually do better on this second attempt. Because if they don't, then CrownZero will find a match point and put themselves in a 3-6 score.
CrownZero are here playing for a lot, but MG Minions are playing for more. The first map at times does get a bit wonky for both of these teams, especially in T4. You know, teams definitely have or need at times a bit of a warm-up to get themselves going. And both of these teams have definitely proved that, but they've started to get onto each other's just plays to a point where they can adapt and overcome in certain situations. CrownZero, again, score-wise, have been doing better. MG Minions have been putting up a good fight, as some of these rounds have really been to that cutting edge of a 1v1 situation due to some mistakes ended up happening. And as of right now, MG Minions, just like CrownZero, are going to be sharing the fact of playing really aggressive on the defense. And I do want to remind you that the roamers are not made to kill people. Roamers are made to waste time, and for the Vigil to be taken out this early, it is not such a good sign. Thankfully, Interlude can always back it up with a good fight of his own, and maybe MG Minions are just going to be backing off a bit more for now.
And this leaves just 1 or 2 defenders back on the top floor. 2 in total on the top floor. Loki putting together onto Alex. Interlude's also getting a bit of trouble with getting damage, but at least they're finally killed onto Span. And suddenly it's only 2 versus 3. Make that a 2 versus 4. Make that 2 versus 3. Jackie gets a kill onto Loki with the pre-placed C4 from below. But still, the attackers here in the man advantage. Jackie getting a bit of trouble once more. Losing some HP, not doing any damage himself. There's still 1 minute and 30 seconds. The attackers still have loads of time to work on the defensive rounds here. And it's really up to the defenders to slow them down as much as possible. Eventually relocate back to the bomb site, because that one is quite vulnerable, but not a single defender on site. So CrownZero, of course, is reading into this, seeing an opportunity, and might start exploiting it.
Could start exploiting it. Just a bit of a might. CrownZero on the meanwhile. Fantastic job. Again on the attack, punishing MG Minions. You lost a player, undoubtedly, but you started off this initiation. You put on some extra pressure, and now you're forcing the Warden, who is about to take away from certain death that is about to be inevitable, because one bullet's about to land. I mean, CrownZero have to do it unless they miss all shots. They come in for the initiation. That's the down. 1v3, Fleet, good job, but keeping it up. That's going to be contention on top floor, and you want to take that IQ's head off as fast as you can. The Vector only has so much bullets, but of course, in the end, the IQ has just simply more to put. As now the attack are going overtime. Not just yet. Match point overtime is what MG Minions are looking to get, but that was a fantastic run for them. They get one more, and round number 1 of this series is finished.
Yeah, beautiful attempt from the Goyo to go for the top floor flank. If he would have been able to find the IQ, he would have found himself in an extremely strong position. But just a very good cover from the IQ, shutting down the Goyo and securing yet another point there for CrownZero. Double the amount of points there on their own side, on their own map pick, however, as well. But still a very good position for CrownZero and for them to be in. Minions now need to win 3 rounds in a row if they still want to have a chance to win this map of Border on the overtime. Make it happen, I would say. I would love to see it, but at the same time, it's not a big deal if CrownZero wins their own map pick, because after this we're going to 19 laps, which is the map pick of Minions, where they have previously played against each other. There was also Minions there who proved to be stronger on the map.
MG Minions fighting for not just glory. I imagine they themselves also want a bit of a better result than 7-3 going into map number 1, or rather just hoping to fight, back up their fight and have a bit more of a re-range run going in map number 2. As of current, though, it's still looking nasty. CrownZero are definitely fighting back, and although the predictions of staff is definitely looking and heading towards where it currently is with a 6-3 score, I believe in Minions. They can pull up a couple of rounds. Maybe we go overtime if they really tend to it. But currently, they're bleeding. And right now, CrownZero are putting some extra salt on the wound, as it is match point. And, well, what better way to try and go out than with some flashiness? As Max, I'm looking at this lineup from CrownZero, and I'm just shaking in my boots.
That's definitely a scary lineup to play against, a very aggressive one as well. But at the same time, Minions is also playing on the one bomb side. They did manage to win before. So Minions did a bit of unfamiliar ground, a bit more of comfortable ground as they find themselves a bit more comfortable on this bomb side. But at the same time, this lineup from the side of CrownZero is indeed very dangerous, very explosive, very flashy. So you need to be very careful with it. If Minions at least get the opening kills here. No, they get opening killed instead. It's Future with a double opening kill as well. Things are definitely not starting good for Minions, because they now have lost both their mute and their Goyo.
Oh, we're putting the spice on it. This is seasoning for CrownZero. 2 opening kills, and they haven't even gotten to the execution. Their entire lineup is based around the Yin, Capitao, Blitz, Grim. It's all they're made for. The strongest operators when it comes to that essential part of Rainbow Six Siege. And it's all just going down as MG Minions have lost 2. That was absolutely phenomenal from Future. As again, he He doesn't look at the past. Matters not what rounds they lost. It matters they win this one. And Darren is there going to be putting one in the grave, making sure it's not an easy of a gunfight. You walk in and untort these bullets, and what are you doing? Oh, the blitz is such a huge drop-off here for CrownZero. It brought so much value, and going in alone with no reason, ground to cover isn't a bad thought, but it's a worse thought when you try to do it all by yourself.
And CrownZero has completely lost their man advantage that they had and the momentum. They have completely stalled at this point. Yes, they still have 1 minute and 15 seconds, which is a decent amount of time in an equal man count of a 3 versus the 3. But they need to get new information. They need to regain their knowledge of where the defenders are playing. They need to still deal with some bits of utility. Luckily, they have but lots of utility. Like there's still the Grim here with his bees. He has the secondary Harbridge utility as well. And also the Capitao can definitely be useful. Scripts are finding a kill on Morty, bringing back the man advantage here to the offensive side. And with 50 seconds, there's only 2 more defenders left to deal with.
CrownZero want to have themselves a quicker nap, want to go to bed as fast as possible. They need to get those hours in and wake up early, probably. They're playing like their life depends on it. Dern is just barely getting away, 1 extra second, and you would have been dropped dead. A dead man walking is what he would have been. As of Juke right now, he's the only one left on full HP besides CrownZero, who do have 1 or 2 to offer. They need to make a move. Their steps aren't stepping, and there's no right direction to go for now. Capitao, we already hear him. Grimbees, 1 more on the line. Package being sent. It's free delivery here. And MG Minions, they're getting packed in a box. That's here looking for the opening of this final situation. Future with a triple. Can he get again? No, but Loki backs him up, and CrownZero, 7-3, dominating first one, and that's a series to start off with.
Yeah, beautiful round here from the side of a beautiful, round here from the side of CrownZero. It started very aggressive, didn't exactly go for them in a good way, in a good start, but still managing to fight things back in their favor and securing this first map, their own map pick, with a nice 7-3 score. Quick replay here of those final few kills, a triple kill, I believe we did see there from, I believe it was Future.
Mm-hmm.
But like a nice way here for CrownZero to end this very first map with that 3-7 score, winning their own map pick, which also gives them a nice way to head into the second map of today, of course, which is going to be Nighthaven Labs, which is Minions map pick.
Now, Border is considered a bit more aggressive, and it is at times for reasons that people think. It's a small map, it gives a lot of opportunities. No, there's a lot of angles, and people just play aggressive. And although, in the end, that's where CrownZero are good at, Nighthaven's a bit more strategical. We're going to have to dive down deeper and see how MG Minions fare in it. As of current, so 7-3 is going to be the one to open us up, and CrownZero already looking to finish it off 2-0 style. MG Minions, I say this from the heart to you. I put my prediction out on it. Make sure to win it. Give us that Bose Max OT. Make it stressful for the side of CrownZero. Right now, you felt that pressure just seeping onto your shoulders. Make sure to return it. Make sure that your strategy overcomes this aggression in these gunfights. You need to play smart. You don't need to think hard. Now, for now, we are going to be taking a bit of a break. Everyone watching, grab yourself a snack, something to eat, something to munch on, maybe a drink, whatever you love, whatever you enjoy, as we're about to be back as soon as we can be.
I'm feeling very excited about this map. This map was the pick of Team Minions, and they have played this map before against CrownZero, where actually Minions was the victor of the map. Yes, maybe Minions might not be as good as maybe they once were, or like at least especially on border. They didn't really show us what we were used with for Minions, but at the same time, if they want to make a comeback and if they want to start winning a map, then Nighthaven Labs is definitely the map to do so. As they have a very good opportunity. So we're now going to head into this second map of today, Nighthaven Labs, the map for the comeback if Minions wants to make it happen. If they want to take us to a third map, and still have a chance to win this match, because I believe the third map was going to be Chalet. Yes, it is going to be Chalet. But before, of course, if we want to head over to Chalet, Minions does need to win this very map. Mhm.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, the second map here today, Night Haven Labs, minions here on the offense and CrownZero on the defense. Well, I was talking about how these two teams played on this map before, and of course there's also VODs of those available. As you can see right now on your screen, a little advertisement of our YouTube channel. We started with YouTube just earlier this season, as unfortunately on Twitch we can no longer store all of the videos as they introduced a 100-hour VOD limit. For that reason, we have taken the perfect
Seconds left
opportunity to
before
move all of our content to YouTube. So if you haven't followed us on YouTube yet, do
5
so.
seconds remaining.
You definitely don't want to miss any content there. All of the VODs are being stored there all the way back to season 1.
Attackers
But
must
also some
locate
nice
and
little
defuse the
reels and
bomb.
short videos, like YouTube Shorts as they're called there, also for you to enjoy. So make sure to follow us on YouTube.
A bomb has been located. Take cover. It's hot. Here we go. Stay back.
Now, with this 5-4 situation, as one of the players of CrownZero did disconnect, we are just waiting for the members of Minions to make their entry. Dermot just heard, I could hear him open up the wall, so they've created a nice little entry point and line of sight into the building a little bit further. Definitely aid them to get some proper control. Kali also here, hopping into the building, getting stunned or getting like a vision blocked by the fan rear utility. Still making a nice foothold here onto the map, but the Fleeks with the shotgun just around the corner finds Nordy and equalizes things back into a 4-4 man count.
Sell them out!
Bright, yeah, very good starting for the side of CrownZero on Minions, their own map pick. A nice way to set the tone, especially after winning that very first round of of a very first map as well, your own map pick. I believe also we're going to have a bit of a rehost here, as unfortunately one of the players of CrownZero seemingly is unable to return back into the game. That's a bit of an unfortunate one there from the side of CrownZero, but luckily through the rehost, they will be able to, well, head back into the game eventually, Buffon. Buffon? Um, Yeah, I'm getting word from our production. Unfortunately, you're apparently muted. I don't think our viewers can actually hear us, unfortunately. So a lot of words from Puffo that I'm hearing, but apparently our viewers are not. Bit of a technical issue there, potentially. Very unfortunate. But as we are having a Rios anyway, this gives us the perfect opportunity to work on that issue and fix it. So we're just going to start a little break here, and well, when we're back, we'll have a rehost happening, and we also will have Puffo back on the microphone. So we'll see each other in a few minutes.
All right, back into the game. Bows, CrownZero MG Minions, we are so back. Round 2, it took a second for the rehost to come back, but we are here, and that's what matters. As of course, not going bottom floor, but an interesting middle line. That's where CrownZero find themselves comfortable in.
Yeah, I would like to say you need to play her anyway, so why not go there a little bit sooner than expected? Might even throw minions off a little bit here. Was now playing on the offensive core. They just had their first offensive round. Didn't really go the way of minions, even though this is their map pick. But CrownZero then managed to win the very first round on server. Right now, of course, second defensive round. Again, we can see Flix with a dangerous Legion shotgun. We have seen in the previous map how dangerous and how destructive he can be with that. So that's definitely one thing to look out for minions here if they are getting up close with that Legion.
Shots as well. It is the beginning of the round, and I'm liking that MG Minions want to take a bit more of a sneaky approach with the Nook interlude. Headsman on the fragmentating end. But in the meanwhile, just as we speak of him, shut down by Scopes. Oh! Interlude so quickly taken out. So much potential out of that Nook, just wiped done and dusted in a matter of half a minute of this preparation phase being over.
And it's a beautiful way to start here for CrownZero here on their defense on the second round. The Tuber, unfortunately, just a little too late to stop the termite charge from opening up the wall. So the attackers now have a very nice line of sight and entry point into the building. Where then also here, the Ash placed by Spam is also making a nice entry here in this segment of the building. Again, last time when the member of Minions was working his way in, he got shot down by a shotgun very early. The Legion was attempting to do this and to achieve this, but Jonas perfectly responded. Finded the Legion and shut him down before he could do any damage with his automatic shotgun.
Corpse burnt, 4 from each side. Thankfully, Scopes managed to get that opening pick because MG Minions, if they haven't given up, right now CrownZero would be looking quite dire, and at the same time holding their heads, I imagine, still holding onto this top ground. And you really want to secure that verticality, especially when the Ash is both online. ET trying to get pushed as much as possible. 2 people there, but you're going to walk into that 2 per hour MPX headshot machine, and that's a consequence you really don't want to deal with, especially when slowed down, especially when frozen in place. And just a bit of coolness here for MG Minions as they're trying to play it down. Breach coming out warehouse side, and now they're looking to not only cut off rotation, maybe just cut off players themselves. That's Juke with 1 opening for the FAMAS, and that's going to be a way for them to just nicely slide onto this top floor and play off of site itself.
Yeah, with this 4 versus 3, the attackers are now finding themselves in a nice little man advantage with 50 seconds remaining on the clock. If also here, yeah, I was about to say, Dipsy is not too careful. He will be found by Alex, and that's exactly what's happening with a 4 versus 2. Attackers now have double the man advantage compared to the defenders. The numbers of the defenders are lowering and lowering. Another defender are being spotted, being hunted, while Future is aware of Ash being just around the corner. Jackie with a kill there onto Loki, and now it's all coming down to Future as the last standing defender, which then gets shut down by Span. And therefore, it's a round win here from the side of Minions, fighting back after losing that very first opening round of this map. Game score to 1-1.
1-1. We've seen this before. We saw it on Border. We get to see it again. But this is a completely different map, and hopefully at the same time we're going to be having different results. Maybe favoring Minions. Maybe CrownZero give us a bit of a quicker result. That we're going to have to see again. It is the early phase. We did have a rehost. A lot of time for both of these teams, not only to strategize, change, but at the same time, nicely calm down. We had a very dominant run from MG Minions. They kept it up till the very end. The final kill from the attack participated in CrownZero. They had opportunities at times, but they just rather didn't take them. Playing top ground nicely, just nicely executed from the Tubarão to hold down that verticality, to have everything under his own line of sight. In the end, it was too much pressure, but the time wasted was beautiful. If only the opposite could have applied for CrownZero on the remaining players, which sadly did fall a bit earlier.
Yeah, but CrownZero now go for the third defense. They're going back to the very same bomb site. Just going for that second attempt, just trying to do a little bit better. Also, at the same time, Minions, they have got a perfect taste of what this bomb site, what the defense is like. They perfectly managed to attack it on the second round here. And for the third round, they might just do it just as well and make their own map pick. At the same time, CrownZero, they know what to do better. They know what they can expect from Minions and how they can improve. And hopefully also winning some gunfights, just not getting killed too early, and also just staying alive a little bit longer towards the end of the round. It definitely helped the side of CrownZero here. But just waiting for the attackers to make their move. And also the Tubarão didn't really succeed on stopping the termites, or not really wasting any time with the termites. If he's just there on the right position at the right time, he can be more effective. But oh, this switch drone from below. Unfortunately, just with the angle, he cannot look straight up. And unfortunately, just not getting the right angle onto that electrical. Very unfortunate. We'll need some help of his teammates to clear that utility.
I'm waiting for it all to go about south. The Tubarão Key combination is one of the deadliest you can imagine when it comes to Clubhouse, when it comes to Nighthaven, and it's showing to be a very big blunder here for MG Minions to clear, but they do get it out of the way for one, although you're going to need to wait a second there, boss, as MG Minions are not getting through so easily. The Twitch drone is having its best attempt, and it's definitely going to be helping out huge. With verticality combined, this drone really makes its presence not only unknown, but at the same time, make sure that you can't get it so easily. It would take a lot of effort for CrownZero to focus down and get this drone out of the way, and that's sadly going to be just quite impossible. I am sad to see all the Tubarãos wasted on that wall. Could have saved them for the connector one, but oh well, we are at this point, and the Twitch drone just keeps on going. Kills are dropping, equalization as if nothing were to happen, and this was a 4v4 from the beginning. Oh, this isn't looking good, though. CrownZero still looking to push up, and this Legion just nicely peeking. That's going to be Dermis, punishing him for it. Head taken off. And 1 minute and 15 here. MG Minions, they're on a good move.
Minions definitely on a good move. Once again, a man advantage for them, and still plenty of time remaining. Just over a minute to go. Still enough time to deal with various bits of utility, to do some drone work, to find out where these defenders are playing. One of them being Dipsy, still playing here downstairs near the bomb site, throwing his C4, hoping to find anyone, but unfortunately not connecting. Then he's able to kill there onto Loki, takes out yet another defender, even making the position here for Team Minions look even better. When here Scripps finds the unaware, Dennis takes care of him, brings us to a 3 versus 2 with just under 40 seconds remaining now.
Oh, from behind. Too cute shot. Manages to find the backstab, and that's going to be the final remaining for CrownZero. They may be dethroned. No more Crown. One around the corner. You find the headshot. Scopes. His name definitely tells the truth that he can scope and he can find some headshots. Extra rotations, extra distractions. Doesn't get it as an Arthi wins it, and MG Minions back on their streak. 2-1 style. The attack looking quite glorious.
Yeah, on the map of Border, the 1-1 scoreline was the moment that Minions started losing the advantage, and where CrownZero wasn't the advantage for the remainder of the map. But luckily, things are definitely going better for the side of Minions here, as they are now the ones in the lead with a score as of the third round. So good start here for Minions, especially on the offense. Because I was earlier looking at the side statistic here for the map of the Nighthaven Labs for the side of ESA Cup Season X, where it's actually a 52% defensive favoredness, where versus then a 48% attacking favorite. So definitely
Attackers need
minions
to
here
locate and
doing well. The
defuse
percentages
bombs.
are pretty close, but at least getting 2 rounds on the offense is definitely already a good thing. And hopefully for them, there's more to find.
More to find, more to scour for. Lost and found section here. CrownZero need to find themselves another round. Again, this is a map that favors the defense at some points, and most, especially with the lineup that you have, abuse the fact that there's a tuber route, abuse the fact that there's a key. Those are your key operators when it comes down to denying. If you need to play from below, so be it. Secure that utility because it is your key point on your defense, and we have not seen much else than this top floor and first
10
one.
seconds
We
to
have not
insertion.
seen basement a single bit, which shows that CrownZero really don't like extending too
5
much,
seconds to
besides the
insertion.
very early parts where they just go out for swings and try to find interlude very early in into the rounds.
Out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
As a 4 defensive round here for the side of CrownZero, they managed to find 1 out of the 3 so far, so definitely will be favorable for them to win at least 1 or 2 more on this first half of the map. But at the same time, they're going to the bomb side that they did play before, where they were successful. The one and only bomb side that they did manage to win. This time, the Legion has opted to go off that shotgun. Did not find the same success that he did manage to find on border, and is now going for his SMG instead. A wise choice, especially given all the long angles that are available on this map, will provide him some more opportunities. And the higher rate of fire will definitely also help out a lot here.
Look going, quick breach again. This is where that strength comes in for the attack. If the defenders aren't going to be using the best parts of the defense, it's going to be a difficult game. Azami's being wiped out. Interesting way of taking them out. The Kali's definitely going to be one of the quicker routes alongside the floors, which isn't being used as of currents. Damage, shotgun, close on IT window. Is going to be delivering some to Dermis as drops of blood given. But more bloodshed is going to be showing as right now Scopes has been on that up front, but now he's spotted out. Going to have to back off lobby side. C4 chucked. Could have been reserved, but CrownZero are trying to assume and attempt too much for their early game. As, again, we love to see the defense, but we would love to see a bit more of patience, as that tends to be the key.
Yeah, but this still being a 5 versus 5, there's 2 members on the side of minions who do have suffered a significant HP loss, as both Darrens and Span are fairly low on HP at the moment. Yet they're still all alive, all 5 of them versus 5 defenders. So this can really still go either way. There's still plenty of time here for the attackers to do their job. Various walls are being opened up by that Termite. He used both of his charges. Also, Ace has still 1 charge in the pocket, so they could open up even more, but they need to be very careful. This C4 that was thrown before that didn't connect did create some nice verticality that the defender is now utilizing. He's just basically waiting for any attacker to step into his line of sight and get a kill from below. But less than 1 last minute is now approaching. Attackers are making their way into the building. Future getting a kill onto Jackie. Another Alex with a kill back onto Future. Loki with a double kill. And suddenly it's a 2 versus 4 in the favor of the defensive side.
Oh, they're all dropping. Oh, it's going chaos. CrownZero here. They have gained such an advantage that the defenders are holding their strength, but not for much longer. They're about to lose its consistency. It's key. So is patience. And that's what CrownZero are not showing on their defensive. They're playing aggressive at MG minions again. With guns and arms, they can definitely just play into that advantage. Waiting for Dermis to make his bout. Loki, they're going to be pre-firing, but he gets shut down. Post-plant, why are you going for it? Wait for your teammate to back you up. Matters not secondary. Dermis with the support. And CrownZero yet again being shut down in front of their very own. But in the end, MG Minions with a 3rd on the attack. Absolute units. As CrownZero, the mistakes they made, unimaginable, still happened. And when all was against them, MG Minions, they took the possibilities and they just shut down the Kings that were definitely a lot stronger on border.
Yeah, it's very impressive how Alex, playing as the Kali, was able to hold side control in a 2 versus 3 situation for such a long time with the diffuser in hands, while the IQ was still located outside. Even going for that fake plan to
Attackers
bait
need to
the
locate
players
and
on the
defuse
bomb
bombs.
side definitely helped to get a kill after the IQ also got her own kill. And then suddenly it was a 2 versus 1 in the favor of the side of minions. Beautiful way to end the round there and secure that 3rd round on the offense. That's definitely the minimum, or even better than the minimums already secured by minions here on the offense. And from here, things can only get better. Well, CrownZero playing on the defense, which technically should have a slight favorness here, should also be able to get some more rounds here on the board and should definitely work to do so, as the offense might get even tougher for them.
I'm scenting map 3 here. Again, MG
10
Minions
seconds to
should
go.
not be in a 3-1 right now. It should be the roles reversed, and MG Minions should be struggling
seconds
for a
remaining.
2-2. The amount of mistakes that we've been seeing from CrownZero, as much as I love the team, again, the players have been doing phenomenally at times, there are certain mistakes that we should fix upon. The fact that you're losing fights like these. 4v2s peeking out into MG minions with low HP, knowing that there's a certain chance you may lose that gunfight and leave your team in a 3v2, 2v2, 1v2, and all of a sudden the countdown has been dropped to that nil. That is just the worst position a defender can be, especially when you're playing into the final few moments of that match where you hold the strongest preposition. The fact that you've wasted time, you've gotten the advantage, and MG Minions almost punishing CrownZero yet again with a sneaky play from Interlude, who has really been crawling all around the place.
Yeah, Dipsy just got off that camera just in time as the Nuke was sneaking up to him. Almost got him into sights, but the smoke was just right in time to realize that he had been spotted and was ready for the engagement. So well done here. Just really escaped death, and it could have been a whole lot worse if he just stayed on the camera a little bit longer. C4 being thrown from below, unfortunately not finding its target after the pulse did spot it out. Very unfortunate miss there. Still a nice attempt.
MG Minions, I'm really liking the lineup. Ram, always lovely to see. No second chance if the Ram does go out, so want to keep this as a saving grace. But the Dokkaebi is definitely a strong one. Interlude with the Nuke has been finding some comforts. And not only the comfort he found, he spotted an operator. He took him out on spots. Someone peeking out. Oh, hopefully, Future, you're confident in this gunfight because you need to be. You shoot him out the post behind as well. CrownZero are focusing on gunfights too much, and that's what's been bringing them down. This attention span, this type of aura from Border to try and keep up aggression as much as possible and have that be the presence is just not right because MG Minions play it smart, not hard. They get kills through strategy. They use their brains, and they smash you down with it. One last standing against a flawless run from the Twitch. Secondary out. Interlude swoops in for the kill, and like a hawk nicely takes you away to eat you up. A flawless here for MG Minions, and 4-1 is a brutal round count for the first half, especially on attack.
Yeah, this is an insane map so far for the side of Minions. So much better, so much different than from what we saw from them on the map of Bor. A huge improvement, and exactly at the one moment that they needed it. They lost the first map. Okay, so be it. Let's just do way better on their own map pick, and that's exactly what they're showing. 4 rounds on the offense versus 1 defensive win on the side of CrownZero. Also very understandable that we do see that tactical timeout come out here from the side of CrownZero. Because, well, they definitely need that one more round on the defense to turn things into a 4-2 score. Because if they don't, if this becomes a 5-1, then the map is practically already lost. Things will become very difficult for them to undo that. And then the third map would be the one decisive map to decide it all who's going to be the winner of this match. But for now, still here, there's 4-1. Still one more round here before the roll swap happens. Minions on a nice roll, but hopefully this tactical timeout has disrupted that roll and has given CrownZero some insights to at least score that one last point and bring it to the 4-2.
Hey, Haven, many options for the attackers to scout through. But that's what gave CrownZero and has been giving them the edge for many times. It's the fact that you really try to shut down those options, right? MG Minions on the attack. They go for the main breach. It's a Caden to Brown. We go below. There could be an extension that shuts him down. Then we have to retreat towards not only blue, but maybe connector as well. And that's where we find ourselves forced into gunfights that may not be comfortable to win. And something I haven't been seeing from CrownZero. Again, it's brute force over just simply playing it down to strategy that MG Minions have gotten a better grasp of. And that's why I'm looking forward to map 3. If we get to it, still possibility for CrownZero to back it up on the attack, as yet again, that is where they found a bit of a better run, especially towards Border. But this is no Border. It's nothing similar like it. And MG Minions are getting away with so much things that honestly they shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's being very aggressively, very effective on that offense. And, well, just so far there's not been a single sign of actually stopping them. Yes, sometimes an opening kill happened from the side of CrownZero, or at least they did try to, and they did manage to do some damage very early on. But in the end, every single time, Minions does find a way, doesn't find a way in, does find those kills, and the man advantage, and a way into the bomb site, and do what they need to do. The final offensive round here from Minions, we can already see Alex Nordy playing as that Monty, already ready to contest the bomb site a little bit. Also, the deployable shield is being spotted out and being dealt with. And then there's also this Banshee remaining, one of the last obstacles. And after this, the nade, unfortunately, being thrown a little bit off, but still, the target has been found. The Banshee has been dealt with, and now there's just one clear path to the bomb site.
One clear path, very spread opposition from MG Minions. 2 players heading towards that IT side, while CrownZero on blue being contested heavily. C4 struck, And Orthe very low on HP. The IQ going from below yet again. But the first one to be found is ironically going to be the one you should savor for most. The exothermic was used, but the thermite was as well, as he's now put in the grave. Nicely lied down. 3 players just menacingly sitting idly by, as even some confrontation from rafters, but having no ground towards this main breach isn't going to give you strength. MG minions trying to push and brute force your way through this one is going to be a difficult task.
Indeed, a very difficult position for minions to be in. It's a strong position, but also very difficult, given there's so many line of sights for where they can be shot and from where they can be approached. However, Fleeks does get injured and does get finished there by Spen, so at least the man count has been equalized by the 4 versus 4. And 1 minute and 20 seconds, the attackers are now relocating themselves a little bit to kind of extend their approach and come from different angles to make it even more difficult for the defenders defending their own bomb side. But in the end, we can see Loki going for the kill onto Jackie, bringing things to a 3 versus 4 man advantage for CrownZero.
CrownZero, wake-up call. They've been lying in their bed all night, and when it comes to night even, but now they put on their glasses, they see better, and they found themselves a very comfortable and nice standing 3v4. MG minions in the meanwhile, on the other hand, being taken out one by one. That's the opening here from spending these final 45 seconds. Still peeking ID side, going against Pixels. Your head's almost taken off, almost won't quite cut it. Monster's still trying to monster in towards this side. One behind him. That's one for Dermis, and you could be getting cut off if you don't take care of him, but you walk into the lines of sight of the gridlock, and only one remaining. This Tuberal playing against the huge French mountain, putting up a composition that one should fear. You see the headgear, you go for the shot, you claim, you connect, but it's post-plant, and this Monty's shutting you down. One's right behind, but you can't really connect him. Oh, it's a puzzle piece that you can't find. You're looking for it. You're just trying. You're trying your best, but there's no rotation possible. Gridlock tracks just to limit your movement. You go for swings as heavy as you can. You go for the final shot. Spen and Monty tag team up on you. And MG minions, just like that, they take it very nicely. And this half, bows, it's not looking good here for CrownZero.
The 5-1 score, what a comeback, what a difference from what we have seen on Border so far. Huge twist here from Minions, bringing themselves a 5-1 score line on the first half of the second map of this evening. Right now, Minions go into the defense where they should statistically be having an even more beneficial opportunity, while at the same time CrownZero technically having a bit of should be even getting a harder time on the offense. They need 4 rounds to equalize. If Minions only wins 1 round, it's map point for them. If they get only 2 rounds, they win this map. So Minions in a very good position, where CrownZero is in a very tricky one. Luckily, CrownZero did win that previous map, so they are still in a position where there is a bit of room for error, where they can then start focusing on that last and final map, Chalet, for tonight, if Minions wins this map. But still, it's better to win the second map as well for CrownZero and end it a little bit sooner. Because once Minions wins this map, they're gonna feel a whole lot better about Chalet as well.
Have to heal. They're gonna need to start feeling themselves. CrownZero, this map has not been going in your direction. Chalet, thankfully, is a good mixture of strategy and at the same time of aggression. So that's why this map is gonna be perfect for MG minions. While though the following, hopefully you're gonna feel that warm-up that you've been having this time around, this play around and having yourself actually be in the constant lead against CrownZero. Although they're on the attack, they're looking to reclaim around there too. Don't want to go out 7-1 fashion. No Brazil for them, and MG minions right now on the defense trying to go for some cheeky spawn C4 chucks. I don't think anyone's going to be falling for the oldest trick in the book when it comes to Nighthaven. Possibly one of the first few very nasty spawn peaks that was founded here on this map when released. Right now, ignoring it simply, going for breach, and using your exothermic on electricity. Timing is not going to be at its finest here. And CrownZero, this is not a good start.
Now completely blindly trying to figure out where the electric claw is being placed, just trying to use the Kali shot utility to deal with it. But as long as you don't know where it is, it's just a bit of a gamble to shoot where to shoot that utility. And unfortunately, this is just not working here for CrownZero. 2 lenses used, all lenses used actually, and the electric claw even being repositioned to make even further confuse the side of CrownZero. This is not looking good indeed. The wall not being opened, and unlikely to be opened unless they find another way to deal with the electric claw.
Information going to be quite dire. Needed, some may say. You've wasted 1 exothermic. Do you want to risk another, especially against a Bandit, Caden Tuberao? My mistake. Put Bandit out of the equation because Fleek is not a fan of maps. He puts it into his own. Nice opening here for the side of CrownZero. Again, a bit more brute force, but if it works, don't fix what's not broken. Monty taking an approach. Again, looking to be that indestructible drone to gather as much. Claymore to punish Interlude for going for a bit of a swing. Not anticipated. C-Force trying to claim an extra 1 or 2. Azami's still on deck, getting or reconstructing site itself, but MG Minions right now 3 against 5. And although they have definitely won a 2v4 in the past, I don't think history is going to be repeating itself like this for Crown.
Yeah, ace charges coming out from Raptors, where then Span is trying to disrupt those as much as he can with the Tubero. He's still 2 of his charges in the pocket, so can easily close that wall for quite a significant amount of time, which is very useful, especially given that the defenders are in the man disadvantage. So time is the best friend in this case, as it will easily start working in their favor anytime soon. But Span fights a kill in the future, and also the Monty gets injured. Things are suddenly looking a lot more better for Minions. Add another kill to the trade, actually, from between Dipsy and Span, brings us to a 2 versus 2 man count with 30 seconds, Buffo.
Oh, we've seen this exact situation in round number 1 here. I believe it was a 2v2, pillar being held, players on each side. CrownZero right now fighting to at least get round number 2, while MG Minions, this comeback would be legendary. A 5v2 and actually winning out with it due to the Tibera just swinging. That would be fantastic, and I think we're going to be leaning it towards it. Diffuser dropped, last one Deimos. The Deathmark going to be revealing your position, and you need to go for kills. As Crossfire established, Dermans with a final, and MG Minions 6-1. They got away with it many more times. They'll do it once again. CrownZero playing 6-1 match points, and this is a situation that at times you just have to think to yourself, what do we truly do?
Yeah, that's something that CrownZero can definitely start asking themselves, and potentially they can even start thinking about the third map of the day, as things are definitely not looking good for them. They need to win 5 rounds in a row without losing a single round to still have a chance to win the second map as well and close the match with a 0-2 win. But that is starting to seem very unlikely, especially given how strong Minions is proven to be on the defense as well. So CrownZero definitely having the toughest challenge of for themselves in a very long time. And yeah, like I said, they might just start thinking about Chile already, as that's going to be the next map most likely.
Gonna be difficult, right? 5 rounds in a row, that is no laughing matter. MG Minions right now are just giggling it away. They're going basement as well. CrownZero, we haven't seen them on basement a lot. Last time we did, they swung up backstairs, and time after time again, they managed to win it out very
10
nicely.
seconds left.
Actually, CrownZero didn't win it out. MG Minions did, for a correction.
5 seconds
CrownZero on the attack. Going to be picking up double shields, whatever's not banned off of them.
Attackers must
The Ash
locate
IQ
and
going to be an
defuse the
interesting
bomb.
combination, although focusing, I think, a bit more towards trying to seek out that Vigil. Would like to see a bit more Deimos in action, maybe some Jackal on the line. But if IQ is what you're comfortable with, in combination with Gridlock to watch out for your flanks, that it may be.
Yeah, right now Minions here, of course, still on the defense, going for that second defensive round. CrownZero just still looking for a bit of success here on the offense. I mean, they did have a bit of success in the previous round. They did manage to get some nice kills in the beginning and did find themselves in some good positions in terms of man count. And especially with this Vigil already located, completely trapped in this one room, this is a very good opportunity here for CrownZero to start a nice little advantage in terms of man. But no, what's happening? Span and Instantly with a kill each for it, especially including a C4 from below. However, then also one kill from IQ there onto Jackie, but still not exactly what CrownZero is looking for. Instead of gaining the man advantage, they have lost their advantage. And it's now a 4 versus 3 situation in the favor of Minions.
Oh, the chemistry from MG Minions. Call it H2O, it's flowing like water. We had a C4 from below with a combination of Vigil, and he's right now behind the Monty with a stab in the back. Man, someone needs to stop this man. MG Minions, they've been brutalizing CrownZero round for round. Are we really going out this quickly? Not even taking top floor, having a struggle with a single player as he's taking away heads. He gets yet another, finally shut down. But the equality here is just not balanced. 4 players for 2? That is not value, CrownZero.
Yeah, this is another way CrownZero wants to be in a 3 versus 1 situation. Yes, there's still 1 minute and 20 seconds on the board, so plenty of time for Ash to still find a frag or another, to still do some damage here and there. and to also gain some information on those last 3 defenders. But at the same time, we can see that the members of Minions are playing fairly safely, all close or inside of the bomb site, just not taking any risk whatsoever. They know that they are in a very good and safe position. They just don't want to throw. They really want that third
Bomb
map
located
and have a
by
chance to still be the victor of this matchup. We can see a bit of an engagement here between Scripps and Alex Nordy, who's right behind the machine right there. Right now, still a lot of pre-firing happening, but not a single kill, not a single bit of damage happening whatsoever.
But now CrownZero, your last player, your last hope, stuck in one small room, trying to hang on tight by the skin of his teeth. 3 players against, hunting him down. He knows where they are, but CrownZero, it's just not a count you want to see, right? 3-1. Those are not good odds. It's the ratio being put in and settled as now you realize that the Legions up close. Pistol has pulled people from left, right, and center. And Arthi with a coup de grace. MG Minion 7-1 into map 2 is brutal. And CrownZero had nothing to say for it. As although they did take border, Nighthaven simply isn't their home, as they were simply just evacuated out of the building by MG Minions. And I don't think there's enough crutches for CrownZero to stand on this time. 7-1. That's going to be map 2. And well, we're going to be going map 3, bows. That is fantastic. Since Chalet, I think, is a fantastic map to complement both these players on teams' playstyle.
Yeah, Chalet is going to be the one decisive ground for these 2 teams as well. Both teams won a map, so it's basically back to square one. It's back to an equal scoreline where it just really comes down to one map, just like in a BO1. The only big difference is, of course, teams are getting tired, especially, of course, CrownZero. They had a beautiful start. They had a dream. They had a dream of beating Minions and going to that 1-1 section of the Swiss brackets in round 3. But then Minions happened on Nighthaven Labs, a 7-1 score, completely destroying that dream and that feeling. And right now, CrownZero, of course, might not be that confident about themselves anymore. And just the big question is, how can they actually restore the confidence? Are they able to restore the confidence, put their heads together, find a way to beat Minions on Chalet? Or are they completely disrupted, completely distracted? And is the morale going dramatically? And do they not stand a chance on Chalet either?
Oh, I'm hoping CrownZero's mental isn't broken after that. Hopefully, they aren't feeling the pressure too much. Definitely, they won a map that has boosted them, but this second one, MG Minions are definitely feeling themselves. They have gotten into the groove of things, and there is no other better way to describe it. But before we go to Chalet, like earlier, something to drink, something to eat. Maybe not, but enjoy this next match. And before we get to it, we are going to be taking you to a short break, and we'll be right back. Break is done, and we slowly creep into Chalet yet again. Why I say yet again is because this map has been finding its nooks, corners, crannies, whatever you want to call them, into the Siege competitive scene many, many times before. And this is it yet again. We've seen Nighthaven, we've seen Bordeaux. 7-3, 7-1. Both very quick matches within regulation. And in a similar situation, I think both of these teams are looking to get out of when it comes down to Chalet, as it is MG Minions, CrownZero, best of 3, map 3, going toe to toe on one of the more balanced maps when it comes to their playstyle, as it can show aggression, it can show strategy, but teamwork matters most. And well, let's take a look at the operator bands here, as it will be Maverick that starts us off. Again, still leaning in towards main breach. A bit of a wondrous one at that, since Chalet doesn't really need breach as much as Nighthaven, nor as Clubhouse, nor as ... But whatever these teams prefer, whatever they find useful, and whatever they stick with, as Blackbeard is going to be following, just to get rid of the shields as much as possible, because they have been used by both of these teams quite a lot.
Yeah, 2 operators that we see quite often and are also often being banned, especially the Blackbeards. The rework, of course, that happened previous season, getting banned quite often right now, especially here in ESA Cup and also in many other competitions. So not a big surprise to see him being removed, Buffo.
No, not really much. And we go over towards the defensive. It's going to be the Tubarão. Now, the Tubarão, again, it's an operator that it is interesting. You really want to stall out Breach. He is Breach focused like the Maverick. And like an old Siege tradition, if anyone used to play comp or rank back in the day, if you ban the Thatcher, you ban the Kate. It's simple. It's how it goes. It's the rule that's not written in any book. And that's how Tubarão and Maverick are exchanged. We should have seen it on Nighthaven, but we didn't. We see it on Chalet, which is a bit of a sore thumb, or rather an odd one out possibility. But the Valkyrie being last is something that we can expect. Information from that operator is huge. I was leaning in towards Morizami, Mira, Fenrir, those types of shticks, maybe the Grim as well. But as current, that's what we're given. And, well, round 1 is underway.
Yeah, Minions here starting on the defense. They had the
Attackers need to
opportunity
locate
to
and
decide
defuse
which
bombs.
side they wanted to start on, as they had the better round difference. That's how we decided the starting side for the cider maps. The Minions here going for the defense on Chalet, which is quite
Attackers have
understandable,
discovered the
especially if
location
you
of
look
a
again
bomb.
at our statistics. We can see that it's a 15-9 defensive win percentage. I believe that's the most one-sided map that we have at the moment in the map pool. Yes, we do. Chalet, the most defensive favorite map of all. Well, very understandable. That means that wants to go here for the defense. If they can get like at least 4 rounds on the board, potentially more, they are looking
10
good
seconds to
when it comes
insertion.
here, of course. Well, a bit of a harder start, a more difficult start here on the offense. And especially
5 seconds
given
to
how, well, 90 left went for them, how they might not be feeling too good about themselves at the moment, things
Attackers
might get
heading out
even
to defuse the
trickier.
bomb.
But I just hope that they had a nice little pep talk here from themselves, with each other, and are able to just really come back from
Attackers
it,
recovered the bomb
really reset
diffuser.
their minds, start over, and just do better.
Do better, see how it goes. Try their best, as MG Minions and CrownZero are doing their best both. We can take a look at the lineup. We're seeing something that we have not yet seen. A personal favorite, I would say,
Attackers
is going to
dropped
be
the
that
bomb
Sense.
diffuser.
Now, Sense,
Ooh.
after the buff, has been having a bit
Attackers
more
recovered the
recognition,
diffuser.
but that's happened a while ago, and he definitely isn't one of the most played, but has found ways of being strategized. And while CrownZero put it to test, as even though it's not necessarily a spawn peak, a peek
Attackers
from
have
the
recovered the
window to
diffuser.
try and down your blitz is going to be successful, although not finishing the job might come back to bite you.
Yeah, that's definitely a very nice start here for me. It's a bit of a statement, just showing like, hey, we are in the lead here. We are in a better position. We are going to make this very difficult for you, and we want to be the victor of this match. And yeah, not a single kill. So at least every player is still in the game. They can still do at least the same amount of damage. Just the gunfights will be a little bit harder, especially if they take damage instead. For now, every single player is still in play, where just loads of damage has been dealt to almost every single player on the offense.
Ooh, the Sense, he's
Ooh.
being a bit more tricky. We see the C4, the nice little pile of explosive right in front of him, served nicely. And Juke there gets the return. That's actually going to be the first. Earlier, we didn't see the Blitz get taken out fully, and Orthy quite low on HP as well. But the only one to be 6-1 under is surprisingly the Sense. One of the 2 operators for execution, but as long as you keep that Ying and no Warden being used by MG Minions, you could still potentially bring it back.
And it's definitely still workable here for either of the 2 teams. Still 1 minute and 10 seconds on the board, which is still a lot of time here for the offense to work with. 1 frag will equalize the man counts, and they still have loads of utility to make the defensive setup even weaker. So they could still do a lot of things here, but they do need to be very careful with the time, because as the timer is going under a minute, the timer is starting to tick down
Attackers have dropped the
even
bomb
further.
diffuser.
And for the attackers,
Attackers recovered the bomb
the
diffuser.
timer is something they're always working against, always working in the favor of the defenders.
Oh, CrownZero, you need to make a bit of a better move. Now, you have found Solarium, and that double window here is going to be proving quite nicely to work, but Bathroom is still contested by MG Minions, as they're not only holding it down, but at the same time, they're looking to swing off of it. 2 players, the Jaeger both, the Wamai as well, both denial, same gadget, but do they have the same brainwave? Well, we're about to see, they're about to swing. No, it's Interlude with the opening here. Going for a second one, he finds damage. The Ing is going to have to back off now down to the 20 seconds. We're pushing in, and that's going to be huge cutoff on the rotation, but Dermot still backs up the fight of MG Minions, as only one has been lost. The Blitz there going to be close. Confrontation finds it, and it's a 3v2 still. Not for much longer. Durnitz puts another into the grave, and looking for the final shot. It's given, but not taken. Dipsy, though, rather yoinks it out of his hand. The diffuser there, he can go for the plant, but sadly it's too late. The gridlock track's almost taking one of yours, and Dorothy just sticking around to nicely secure it all down as the defense have their way in round number 1.
My almost losing his life on those track stingers there towards the end, even though it did not exactly matter, but still a very, very nice attempt from the Blitz to still clutch things out, still getting 2 beautiful kills there, and almost getting the plant, starting the plant as well. But of course, with the timer running out and the defenders knowing exactly where he were, so they were very easy to take him out and still get around to on the board from Minions. A nice start, the 1-0 start, expected given that they are on the defense. Still, nonetheless, a nice start here for Minions.
Oh yeah, MG Minions here with a very promising one at that. CrownZero, we could feel them shaking for a bit, right? And the entire time they could not find that entry. We had them swinging on the side of a double window, and although that worked out for
Attackers
one
have
kill in
located
the
a
end,
bomb.
that's also where the Sens was taken out in the beginning. Now we trade back to Solarium, where we saw people just trying to brute force the way. Yet again, brute force is a key that CrownZero tried to unlock this door with, but it keeps on getting jammed by MG Minions, where the chair nicely blocking it out, not allowing no entry. And the way they were playing is aggressive enough. CrownZero came in for late entry off his side, which did end up working quite nicely with how spread the defense has been playing up until now. It's just good enough so the alignment is good for refrags, but at the same time, you can't be chain killed so easily.
Okay, here going to the second defensive round, we can see one of the deadly operators coming out here from the side of MG Minions. The Clash played by Alex Norley at the moment. Team Minions, of course, a team that's quite well known for using Clash in their strategies to really disrupt the offensive momentum and really disrupting them and really stopping them in their tracks and just intimidating them as well. Something that we have seen plenty of times from Minions and seen that it is still one of their part of their plays, part of their strategies. And I'm very excited to see the Clash in action.
Oh, the Clash is going to be dirty work. Earlier was banned by one of these two teams on Nighthaven. Now they're going to be having to fear using it, and MG Minions on the pickup quite quick as well. I am loving that the entire lineup is working off of strength alone, but you run into the gun. CrownZero are definitely the ones to pull the trigger first, and MG Minions drop blood. Opening blood as well. CrownZero, the ones on the winning side as of now. And just as I was talking about how strong this lineup is, the Fenrir, Mira, Zami, Clash, Goyo, all amazing operators. We speak of the devil, and one of them's gone.
Yeah, exactly what the side of CrownZero needs in this position. A bit of a sign of a weakness from the side of Minions, that they can indeed be beaten, that they can indeed get those opening kills instead of getting opening kills themselves. And this is exactly what they need even more. Scripts denying the spawn peak, the aggressiveness of Minions, something that has worked so well for them in the previous map, and just denying that aggressiveness, paying them back, stopping them in their tracks. This is what the momentum, the boost that CrownZero needs to give them more confidence and give them a sign that they can actually do this on the map as well.
3 players already, MG Minions. Not even counting in the fact that there's a Clash that can't necessarily gun down too well. It may be information, it may be stoppage, but it isn't something that you can work well with a primary, since it is a shield overall. Juke, though, he uses his own, a pea shooter, but when it counts the headshot, it matters not. Breach there, going to be bottom fireplace, trying to open up more CrownZero. They're just sticking around, again, droning it all out, but that's not going to help you. Time is running out, and it's been kicked off the clock. As of current, you lost 1 player, still 1 above, looking comfortable, and there's a lot given to you. Now, not using this verticality because one, Dermis is looking to contest every single one, trying to take these gunfights, and that's the way you should be doing. Going for aggression, you get the finish. Dermis, in the meanwhile, downed, and still advantage here for the side of MG, or rather CrownZero. MG Minions, though, I don't think they've given it away. 1 player down, no one's playing off of it. Player from the demo is just seeking out this Fenrir, and little does he know he's right next to him, downed. He does scout out the mirror, though. That is going to be a fortunate pick enough, just so the mirror is forced back. No plans going down yet. Thermite's down, and so is the case. The drop from Hatch initiated. Wallbang's not connecting. Oh, the revolver doesn't have the ammo capacity. Secondary, it's the shotgun. The plant's going down. It's a 1v1 and push. The Thatcher is forced to go for it. Do you find him in the final few moments? Oh, yes, you do. And Juke with a triple. MG Minions with a second. The down Fenrir bleeding out since the beginning, and CrownZero bleeding rounds as 2 are lost, and that is a fashion you don't want to go out with.
Defenders win.
I'm just wondering whether they were even aware of the Fenrir being injured right there in that corner. Like you said, good thing that the demos went for the track onto the mirror and not onto that player. Otherwise, that would have been wasted utility. But in the end, a very nice round here from the side of Minions, working things back in their favor miraculously. And well, especially as the timer was getting very low for the attackers, it was all chaos for them. They had to go for the plans. But fortunately, not winning the gunfight against the Mira, and then Mira then clutching it out. Beautiful done here from Minions. CrownZero had a very good start, but Minions just fought back. Well, ended up winning this round. 2-0 for
Defenders,
Minions.
protect your bombs from being defused by
Well,
attackers.
for Minions, solid one. We're looking to head back to break some curses, because
Bomb
both of the
located by
maps,
attackers.
Border and Nighthaven, have both had one thing in common. The most outstanding one is the fact that they started out with a 1-to-1. One
Oh,
round
yeah.
for each. Nice little equalization to have it be just as balanced as it can be. This time around, MG Minions 2-0. They're on the defense, don't get me wrong, it's definitely going to be good. And I love the fact that MG Minions have sought out the fact that a lot of their players come out of gunfights quite injured. So, of course, Spen on that dock is going to be very comfortable. Hasn't picked up a kill yet, but maybe this is the sign to go off of with that MP5. The French madman, the dock, the one that can really put in some effort to finding those headshots. As CrownZero, hopefully you can pick up one of yourself, because you lose this one and it's not going to be looking good.
No, definitely not. Minions currently on a roll, on a very strong roll as well, with a 2-0 score, going to the third defensive bomb side where they are going to bar games. Perhaps one of the more tricky bomb sides, but some teams actually favored as well. It's definitely a very playable bomb side, and CrownZero here going for that third offensive round. If they can actually get it on the board right now, then that's still decent for them, and they can still show that they can actually do it. If they don't, then we will likely see a repeat of the rotation of bomb side that we have seen so far. The defender is a bit stretched out, looking for any attackers making their way in early. And talking about that, it's Interlude already getting found. What these Scripts going for the reflect on the Interlude. There's the kill onto Scripts, and suddenly we're finding ourselves in a 4 versus 3.
Oh, wow. CrownZero, great way of refranking it, but MG Minions have the count. Yet again, this is their building, and they can be whenever or wherever they want, at whatever time and place they choose, because 2 players there, that's how much CrownZero lost. Well, in the meanwhile, traded out for Interlude. He may be a very dangerous player at times, but he does not have the utility to back it up. Spen and Terminus both would have been much more value, although you can't change that now. It's already happened. You're trying to take out shields. Flores drone here is going to be huge of utility. The Sense coming in to even put a bit of blindside on the side, and the Flores drone takes that out. You start chucking them all in the same corner. And while though they do spread out nicely, CrownZero, you definitely want to save some of this utility for the late game. You don't want to be using too much of it right now. Library is important, don't get me wrong, but you've already wasted so much time. You might as well try and play a bit more into the fact that you still have 3 players. You get 1 or 2 kills, and it's going to be prominent.
Attack is really struggling to find a way in. Loki is the one of the players making his way in. Spen now with a kill onto Loki, shutting him down again. Dipsy also following him in, trying to get a kill onto the player there, onto the library stand. Unfortunately, not securing any kill. Dipsy now with a kill onto Spen, so securing the kill in the end. And this leaves us with a 2 versus 2 situation with 45 seconds remaining. Attackers have gained some control. Dernis is still playing on the top floor, however, so the attackers definitely still need to be careful. The top floor isn't clear. They don't have the control that they were looking for, but at least with Alex now returning his way to the basement, to the ground floor, they do have a bit more control that they were looking for.
It's not looking good here. MG Minions have so much more ground, but at the same time, CrownZero are playing off of library stairs alone. In 20 seconds, it's something you really don't want to stick to. It's important, right? And it's an even larger one when Authority puts it on your shoulder. Dermis sneaking around. You don't expect a mezzanine, and all of a sudden, your players are done and dusted. MG Minions with a 3rd round in a row going ban for ban, but more than just that, they're putting CrownZero in the dirt, as they not only got out with multiple kills and multiple winning scenarios, at the same time, they keep up this consistency where pressure is starting to stockpile onto CrownZero, just like the rounds.
Yeah, the technical timeout here from CrownZero, very understandable, as this third map, well, wasn't looking too good from them from the beginning, as they lost the previous map, and therefore the momentum and the morale wasn't really in their favor. But still, we were hoping for a bit of a comeback and at least some confidence from their side. But losing 3 rounds in the beginning is completely destroying any confidence, if there was any. And hopefully this technical timeout does give them the chance to just get the pep talk that they really desperately need at this point. If they can still turn this into a 3-3, then that is a very good score still for CrownZero. If it's a 4-2, then it's decent. But if Minions continue like this and it becomes a 5-1 or even a 6-0, then CrownZero is not looking good.
As of current, as it still stands, Chalet and Night Heaven have both been night and day to what Border had to offer in the favor of CrownZero. While they won it out and begun it, put up a very good resistance, MG Minions' mental has not backed off. That has only fueled their passion and the fire. There's been some gas put on it. MG Minions now gassing out CrownZero 3-0. Very good start. It can only go up from here, and that's the danger. That's that fear factor starting to slowly kick in for CrownZero's realization. as they lose any more of these rounds. And they've already given up a winning opportunity in the first half. 4-2, 5-1, 6-0 still being in the range of possibilities is absolutely huge for MG Minions.
Attackers have
And as
located
much
a
as
bomb.
these yellow beings that always tend to be with some sort of leader, in the movies you recognize them as Gru, here they are no leader needed. They are completely all alone, but playing as a hive mind. I absolutely love that MG Minions. There haven't been a lot of hero play. There has definitely been
5 seconds
players that put up a strong round or two, like Interlude, Juke, Dermot. You know how I'm mentioning multiple players? Because every single aspect of MG Minions has been strong, spread, and balanced.
Yeah, well, the thing is for Minions right now, after winning 3 defensive rounds in a row, they're back to the very first defensive bomb site that they did play, which of course is a rotation of the bomb site that they have been going through so far. So familiar ground for CrownZero. They know what they can expect. Last time when they were attacking the bomb site, it didn't really go too well for them. They did manage to get some control, get some kills, but in the end, it was Minions just being quiet, aggressive, quiet, strong. And just really denying CrownZero from making a proper entry into the bomb site as well. So for now here, CrownZero just going for a second attempt to the same bomb site they have attempted before. Hopefully they can do a little bit better. They know what they're in for. They know what they can expect. The question is whether they are able to do it this time around.
Attackers drop the
Questionable.
diffuser. Attackers recover the
Zero
bomb
here.
diffuser.
And Solarium is one of their prioritized picks. Do they really want to lean in on it as much as they would rather Library and then push main? Fluke Balcony would definitely be one on the top charts of my questioning. MG Minions for now just not giving a care in the world. They stand their ground. Sens is coming out. No Yinks to back them up, at least as of current. And CrownZero, while they may be chucking some utility to fear, or rather to shake MG Minions up, it's no real execution coming out. We hear some smokes. A return coming as CrownZero realize they need a bit more than just Solarium Stairs. Ying's there. Could be a huge push, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. CrownZero still haven't done anything just yet.
Yeah, Solarium will definitely prove to be a very difficult angle to come from, difficult position to come from for the side of CrownZero. Lots of line of sight pointing in that direction. 2 different rooms where the defenders are located at the moment as well. This play on the window is one of the key players here for the defense. As long as it's here, it's a bit safer for the defense and for the attackers to make their move. Mirror being injured, Future with the kill there onto Interlude as well. And also then the Mirror still being injured. Dennis with the kill there onto Loki. Leaves us with a 3 or technically 4 versus 4 as Revive is now happening. And that's Script with the kill there onto Span. Brings us to the 3 versus 4.
Oh no, not the secondary pull. It's Dermis. He knows that it's better to pull out the secondary than reload, but he leaves an Orthene, a 1v3. The plan's going down, but do they know about the lurking Jaeger? Yes, they do. Trade it out in the final moments. But CrownZero finally managed to establish a round under their belt. 4-1, not just yet, but it could be going if they don't keep it up for another. And right now, they're just purely playing off of the fact to consistently keep it up. 1 round is a bare minimum. The second and third would definitely be some sort of pleasure to go off of, especially going into the second half. You want to keep it as close and dry as you physically can, because MG Minions, they get themselves an advantage, and you know they run with it.
Yeah, another minute too late to get the first round on the board. Tactical timeout definitely seeming to help here for the side of CrownZero, as they were looking a lot better during this round. They still weren't looking too great, not like too strong per se, but they at least were able to do a lot better and at least secure a round here on the boards. Minions could have now decided to go back to the top floor, but they are going to decide to go here to the ground floor of the kitchen and dining. A bomb site they played in the second round of this matchup, where of course CrownZero hasn't had any success yet before. This was one of those rounds where things did get pretty close. It was a clash again also there on Minions was being played, and where in the end CrownZero did manage to get in the bomb site, was attempting to get the diffuser down. Also with the Thatcher, who just went off of the last second and then lost his gunfight, unfortunately. But so it was a fairly close round there from CrownZero. They did get in, had a good step in the right direction, but unfortunately just didn't manage to close it off in their favor. So hopefully with the right improvements, they are able to do this better this 5th round.
They are to do so. Minions bringing out the clash yet again. An operator despised by many, looked down upon even more. But it is a strong operator, and definitely people fear it more than anything, especially when facing against it. As long as MG Minions make sure that they're not in a deficit of players, and Clash is going to be working wonders. although it doesn't necessarily bring the gun, again, the information and the pure strength it offers by standing there menacingly is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Minion is gathering some information here with their default camera, just trying to figure out where those attackers are coming from. You can see quite a bit of amount of attackers coming from the helicopter pad side of the map. At least 3 of them. Lots of drones happening as well. Just gaining the information, finding out where the attackers are playing as well, so they can find a weakness in the defensive setup here from Minions. Bit of first damage that being done there onto the mirror. Actually, I think that was a Twitch drone, and that the mirror managed to block the shot with her own body to protect her own mirror window for now. It is actually not getting that much ground covered at the moment. Yes, they have gun control over the top of the library stairs and also on top of fireplace, but for now, the attackers are just mostly looking for ways in. Termite has opened up one of those walls. Is going to open up, attempting to open up the dining wall as well, from where they can hopefully put some more pressure onto the bomb site itself.
Last exothermic it went up and it connected quite nicely. Not much of denial. MG Minions recognize that even though the Tuberar is banned, they need no Cade, no Bandit for this site specifically, as verticality is the major part. And as long as they can nicely hold it down and bunker down on it, they're going to be comfortable. They're going to be sitting nicely, gripping, just drinking a cup of coffee. Nice little cold iced tea. As of current CrownZero, they're looking to rather ignore it, going for smokes. Thermite almost spotted out someone. Not quite on it. A C4 collaboration with guns. Bullets flying by. MG Minions winning most outcomes. Most not being all. CrownZero still return 2 in the favor. But MG Minions keep up with it. Again, the clash is there. And as long as she can be the one to deny it, it's going to be absolutely huge. Impact trying to find it. Thermite gonna have to move, or rather Gridlock. My mistake. Dermis, though, no mistake on him. The Epi 7 extra bullets. MG Minions craving for that 4, and they're looking to get it on the scoreboard as the final player now up against a clash and 2 very craving players. As simply, it is just not enough. Dermis, final few bullets are gonna be put in, and just like that, the final player will be put out. MG Minions 4-1.
Yeah, MG Minions making that 1-round loss looking like a simple mistake rather than an actual accomplishment here from CrownZero. Are just so effective when working things back in their favor with a 4-versus-1 score line right now. Just one more round remaining before we are seeing that roll swap happen. Minions could still easily turn it into a 5-versus-1 if they continue to be as effective as they have been so far. But CrownZero, of course, definitely wishes to win at least one more round to have the 4-2 scoreline in the roll swap, where they could then go to the defense and actually have stand a significant chance to still win this map on the second half. But then this, of course, this upcoming round is going to be very important. We are going back to bar games, the bomb site, which only has been played once so far. I'm trying to recall how this map for this bomb site went. It didn't really go too well for CrownZero. They especially struggled on gaining control over this top floor area, which is their first priority before putting pressure onto the actual bomb site itself. But as long as they cannot clear the top floor, there's no point of going for the actual bomb site itself. So the side of CrownZero definitely needs to do better on clearing the top floor, staying alive a bit longer, being a bit better with the time that is given to them, and hopefully just do a little better so they can actually put pressure on the bomb site and go for an execute.
Sure would be quite nice. MG Minions 4-1, 5-1. That's a score that they are definitely right now liking the sound of. CrownZero, on the other hand, please, 4-2, at least that. On Chalet, again, bare minimum going into this first half. 1 round was achieved, another one can be given. You are going to be going against Bar and Gaming, where earlier you had quite some trouble. You had some refrags, but you could not finalize the thought, as MG Minions just simply offered numbers, and you could not outwit them in that situation. Again, we love the change-up. The Grim is definitely going to be useful. Capital as well to completely try and burn down anyone playing top library. While meanwhile, the Monty simply to push him out. It's a good strategy and adaptation, showing that CrownZero are still putting up a decent fight. Although, you have to be wary of these players. Again, going in alone, it is not something you want to do. MG Minions have been playing together quite nicely, and keep it up.
Yeah, I love how this Frost is playing here in this corner with the verticality being created right below her. Of course, the Capitao is going to try to push her out into the verticality. The dog could eventually start healing her later on a bit. Also, Lamite is coming out to deny any further arrows being shot. You can see right now the Frost is relocating herself to the verticality and is being healed from the dog by below. A beautiful play, a very strong one, allowing her to hold a position as long as possible in a very strong way.
Oh no, interlude, not like this. Went out by Claymore, not the best, not even a player needing to focus his attention onto you and you're already out. But Frost stays in the corner. One extra player focusing and leaning back into library as now one of the players here peeks out. That's going to be one for Spen. Monty up close. You go for the knife. You find it, but it's a crossfire from behind. And that's the danger this window offers. Frost still stuck. No way of exit. And Impact's coming out. The Monty alone stranded. Even Spen coming out for a bit of a tussle of his own. Now extra shots. The Grim. Every single attacker is now on the hunt out. As not only have they claimed advantage, but at the same time, they've opened it up in a lot of opportunities. Spen! Oh, too close for comfort. But in the end, not close enough. It really hurts to bite.
Yeah, so an opposite of the very first time that CrownZero was attacking this bomb site, they have now successfully gained top floor control, and that was still just over a minute remaining earlier, which is still plenty of time for them to put some actual pressure onto the bomb site below. Every single defender has fallen back, 3 defenders in total versus 4 attackers. So CrownZero actually looking pretty decent, but everything is going to come down how these last 35 seconds are going to go. They need to figure out where those defenders are playing, need to go for the gunfight, use their utility to localize them, but we can see the plant already happening, Pufo.
Oh, yes, we can. But people are dying. People are getting shot, and people are getting taken out. Spen with another flank. Earlier was library. He switcherooed it all the way down to fireplace, and it works out fantastically. CrownZero, 1 player against 2. Where are there? It's a game of hide and seek. You really can't bait and switch as there's just simply too much of a opposition being put by MG minions. Drop from hatch, inevitable. That's going to be the sound cue, and the Grim just simply does not budge nor bother. Spen takes away with it. It's an advantage taken. Nicely yoinked, and like an MG minions, a 5-to-1 half. This is one we've seen before on the previous map, and Nighthaven was a 7-to-1. 7-to-1, may I remind you, for MG minions again, they're looking to close it out as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, 2-5-1 scorelines back to back, where CrownZero now finally goes to their defense. Technically, given that this is the most defensive side of the map in the ESA Cup map pool, things are technically still possible for CrownZero. But of course, remember how things went for Nighthaven Labs. After being at the 5-1 scoreline, there's not much left of a team. They are beaten. The mentality has gone down. Their morale has gone down. They are not feeling too good about themselves. CrownZero needs to be very strong on the mentality game if they are still able to pull things back together and actually still keep their heads together to still be able to bring some sort of success here. But I'm fearing that it might be very tricky for them. But I'm hoping that they are able to at least get some more rounds here on the board to bring things a little bit closer to give them a bit of a boost and feel better about themselves.
Bit of a boost. CrownZero, you're on the defense. Nicely coached up, I imagine, and looking to get back into the driver's seat. Been in gear 1. Let's shift. It's gear 2, gear 3. You know what? Might as well go drunk driving while you're at it. As of current, all that matters is that you tag up these rounds, you get it back in the game because you are falling 4 rounds behind. And as much as it sucks, I imagine they're definitely not liking it just as much as we are because we want this to be a close, fair, and very equal match. Both of these teams are strong. We know it, and CrownZero definitely have had a past where they have been the dominating side. This time around, they do feel that medicine being taken in themselves, and MG minions are definitely giving them a taste of it themselves. 5-to-1, it's not impossible. We've seen worse situations for many, many more unreliable situations, scenarios, and other teams. So CrownZero, don't make it be the final few rounds. You lose this one, you're up against match point, and at that point, most people would already be thinking that it's already over.
Well, let's hope it's not. I'm definitely in here for a lot of more extra rounds here on this match, which could be very close between these two teams. At least minions are definitely looking very good. C4 being thrown, not connecting, unfortunately. There's lots of utility being placed out there, hoping to give a bit of a call here for the player to throw that C4, but unfortunately not connecting. I've always heard how CrownZero is pretty good on figuring out some pretty interesting and good strategies. So there's a little bit less good on actually executing them in a favorable way. But Scripps is getting the first kill there onto Alex, and Spanner with the kill there onto Future. We're seeing the first bodies fall.
That is going to be a huge exchange. The thermite down. Famas. Oh no, just not connecting. Shotgun up on close. Secondary all needed. Salt on wound. And that is the famous last words we hear from MG minions. It's 2 players in Northy, and Dermot's post taken out. 4-on-1. MG minions now falling behind. This is going to be a tough one. You peek out left, siege timing, but you still find the shots. And oh, not connecting. The Fenrir must be holding his head in shame. MG minions, though, you still lose it to a pistol. And in the end, CrownZero are not letting go of the team so easily. To be fair there, not contesting it again. Put a bit of fear in his boots and have the Malusi take it from there. While in the meanwhile, MG Minions just looking for that rotation, and I don't think it's going to be let go of CrownZero by so easily. They're still having this aggressive up front like they always tend to. This time around, it's working way more frivolously than it tends to. As for now, though, last 50, MG Minions are going to be having a very rough time.
Brava trying to sneak up these western main stairs, trying to find the two defenders who are playing here in the back while the Ashes try creating some disruption from the fireplace side. Instantly finding the kill there onto Scripps, bringing things to a 2 versus 2 where the man count is now even, but a shotgun from above by Dipsy takes out Span, finishes him off, leaves Interlude all left standing in a 1 versus 2 situation with just 25 seconds remain. He finds him Lucy right around the corner, gets the kill just barely, but secures the triple kill, and now we're in a 1 versus 1.
No, not like this, boss. It actually happened. MG Minions are looking to pick it up, but this is where that shotgun, it matters not from what range. Interlude is so low on HP, and it's the Warden as a last character that is looking to counter it, but it was a bait. It was a bait, and I think Interlude's gonna get away with it. The plant is down. He's looking for the shots going up of verticality. Needs to load, and just holding hatch. He's playing bottom. Oh my god, Interlude, no, this is the biggest brain IQ move that we've ever seen, at least me personally. And this is huge. MG Minions right now, they have it all. But CrownZero is just searching. You don't need to search. You need to find this kill. Time is running out. Reserve 7 seconds. Why are you looking for trophy? There's no information. Go to the defuse. Bait it out. Get information where the final one is. He's so low it might as well not matter. Final 10 double digits. It's over. MG Minions with this round. And CrownZero are going to be facing match point. Interlude, the genius of them all, still gets out with a kill. That is just a kick to a man while he's down. I don't know how they did it, but MG Minions, nothing but credit to give in that scenario.
This might be one of the biggest plays that I've seen this season so far. Holy shit. The members of CrownZero were so incredibly confused. You could just see that they had no clue where the diffuser was actually planted and what was going on. I don't know why. Like, they just couldn't make the decision, okay, let's just head downstairs, try to figure it out that way. Like, instead, the player was just trying to create verticality, try to find where the player was playing, where the diffuser was planted, and wasting so much time in the process. While he was finally heading, when he was finally heading into kitchen, there was just 7 seconds remaining. So even if he then managed to find the diffuser somehow, he would already not have any time remaining, which really shows that CrownZero was just incredibly confused in that moment and just not ready for what was waiting for them. So beautiful play from the side of Minions, putting them on the 6-1 match points. Series points here for themselves.
That was fantastic. That was actual art. Symphony at its finest. MG Minions, the final one. Interlude has been an outstanding player from the very beginning, and he outplayed many more than just one. He has been outplaying 7-5. The KD that shows in that final kill that we just saw right there was not only the fact that he's confident to back up his fight, but at the same time, he is absolute genius. Now, MG Minions, they took what they could, they ran away with it, 6-1, Nighthaven repeating for a second time, and unless CrownZero can win 5 in a row without a single slip-up, they can still bring it overtime. Although, this is a certainty that MG Minions are not going to be letting it go by so easily. They're still keeping their lineups very religious. They're having it go consistently. Interlude shuts down one because he's playing max aggression. Nook already in kitchen dining, all covered. And MG Minions with so much to give, while CrownZero have nothing to offer in the first 30 seconds.
Attackers recovered the...
Yeah, this is a crazy way to start this potential final round. Just really showing CrownZero that they almost don't stand any chance at this point anymore. Just really destroying their opponent in the progress. 5 versus 1 in the very first seconds. That's a great start for Minions, and it's only looking to get any better. Another kill coming out from Spender onto Future brings us to the 5 versus 3 in the favor of Minions, where they're just looking to round things up as soon as possible, as they want to just take the victory home and focus on the next match.
Be it their next match, be it sleep, be it the bed. Juke there making it a 5-2, and are we seriously gonna have a flawless? The last one burning, oh my, just by the inch. A thread through the needle. Final one stuck in a corner. MG Minions, 5 players alive. It's 6-1. I don't think this is a situation you come out as the winner of. You may be definitely some sort of challenger, but the champions are fighting the flawless for last. MG Minions 40 against 60 in predictions, and in the end managed to prove us all wrong, as the first map may have just been their warm-up, a fluke, a jest you call it, but I call it MG Minions taking map 2 and 3 without much of an issue and proving that, again, they are the winners of today's matchup.
Yeah, just Minions had a bit of a bad start on that very first map, the map pick of CrownZero, which was Border, which they ended up losing with a 3-7 score. But in this case, it's the side of Minions just doing incredibly well, working on the combat, just making sure that they can just actually win this match. Completely forget about the first map. Whatever happens, it happened. Leave it in the past. Focus on the next maps. Do what they need to do, and that's exactly what they did.
That's exactly what they did, and wow, I have never felt after a bit of a first mapper like we saw on Border that CrownZero are really going to start feeling the pressure from MG Minions. And well, MG Minions, they served us banana split with it, but though we had a best of 3 here, and it was another fantastic day over at ESA, I do believe we have some more matches coming up. So let's take a look at that. In the meanwhile, before, we also have to look at the brackets. I mean, we can see right now we're in a bit more of that, looking to not find yourself in the double E limb, but I mean, MG Minions, CrownZero. CrownZero is now on almost 2 losses. They lose their next matchup and they are eliminated. So best of luck to them. MG Minions move up to fight against Aspire.
Yeah, CrownZero going to those O2 rounds, the elimination rounds, which are not just best of threes like any of those matches, but also a limited overtime matches. It's really the do or die moments where you really need to prove yourself whether you belong in ESA Cup Season X or not. And well, that's where CrownZero will find themselves now among Satellite Esports, but also still two more teams to be decided to go there, which we'll figure out on the upcoming 2 days. Talking about upcoming days, we have a little schedule pick of what we can expect for tomorrow, which is going to be Verifly Asgorn, previously known as UR Verifly versus E-Wave Esports. That's going to be the first match of that 1-1 section of the brackets, with a 1-1 match coming up on Thursday as well. But yeah, with this match tomorrow, we will know one more opponent in that 1-1 side of the bracket and that 0-2 side of the bracket. So that's what we'll be figuring out tomorrow.
We will be figuring that tomorrow, but as of current, today's matches were fantastic. We went to the full 3 maps, and just like that, the beginning of the end is here. It has been me, Puffle Bob, leading you through these matches alongside Bozmax, who I thank very much for joining along. A fantastic day to be alive, especially for ESA. And thank you to all the players for playing as per usual. Not possible without the players. Thank you for watching. Enjoy as an enthusiast. Thanks to Oho and the Unnamed Gamer for observing and producing. Fantastic job. You can always expect it from them. And it has been me. It has been everyone, the production crew, everyone's involved in this. So this is why we love ESA, and this is why we're going to be signing out. So I hope you have a great, and I mean great, every day.
Have a good evening.